Hello, and welcome to another edition of Typewriter Club Live. Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I just took a picture of the screen with
oh, cool.
my little camera, and it actually ran out the very last of my first roll. So this was the
Oh,
last
wow.
picture of my very first roll.
Wow. Very cool. So it sounds like you're enjoying it.
Oh yeah, I think me and Joe both are having fun with these silly machines.
Yeah, that is great. And I have mine here as well. So in fact, I left my sound on. I don't know if you can
Oh
hear
yeah,
that.
I shut all that sound crap off. I don't want that.
I think Joe did too, because in his video, it looked like he was like opening it for the first time, but you could tell he hadn't, because the sound was
Right.
off and there were other clues. But yeah.
I love deep, which is a disturbing thing to put on a children's toy.
I know, right? Oh, so it's gonna print right now. I just took one.
What are those things?
Oh, Sean, you missed our whole new the fascination of the week.
Oh no, I'm
Yeah.
getting
It's an instant camera that uses thermal print technology.
Oh,
So,
super cool. Look how cute they are.
yeah. Very cool. I have mine on I guess they call it dot matrix, which is kind of like halftone.
Yep, that's what I ended up on doing too. It just seems to look better that way.
Yes,
I mean, the continuous tone will work, and it's more photograph-like, but there's a certain character to the dot matrix. It looks all the world to me like, I don't know if you guys, I mean, you would know like what a line screen is for half toning a photograph.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. It looks all to me like the pebble half toning line screens that they used in the 70s and early 80s.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of like that weird little moire thing that it's got going on. And that was very popular, I remember, in like government brochures and like corporate documents, and like the late 70s, early 80s. They were using those line screens a lot, man.
Yeah.
Very artsy.
Yeah. So Sean, to catch you up, I had discovered this on AliExpress.
Yeah.
And I loved it so much and was shocked at actually how good it is. That I knew Joe and Ted had to have it. So I sent them each one matching colors. They could have had the pink, but I opted for blue for everyone. So
it was good.
If you hadn't have bought them, I would have been like, wow, it's amazing that Ted bought the exact same one as you've got.
I know. Yeah.
And it's super fun because it just like prints out on receipt paper, and
yes,
like it costs probably pennies a print.
Oh yeah,
which is good because it's cheaper then, right?
Yeah, it's you can just like print out anything you want to shoot. So
that's nice.
Yeah,
and it just does very artsy sort of prints, and it's
which is what you guys
disposable.
are.
So, like, I guess you said you paid $30 for these.
Yeah, including shipping. So
yeah, that's including shipping.
Yeah.
Wow.
So AliExpress can be dangerous.
Yeah, that's so yeah, they're practically disposable.
Yeah, I kind of joke with my wife, and maybe I shouldn't say it, but I joke that I'm funding China. Yeah. I make a lot of purchases on there, so yeah. I did get the extra paper rolls.
Oh, okay.
I got a 20 pack, so I should be good for a while.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, I just went through my first roll, and that was about a week's worth of pretty constant shooting. So
yeah. Oh, but let me say that I love the output you've been having, and the creative inspiration you've gotten from sending it, which totally makes it worth it for me.
Yeah,
because it's so fun to see what you're doing with it. Definitely.
I mean, immediately I was thinking of like back in my punk rock days, I would make flyers and stuff. And so I'm used to like using highlighters and, different kinds of pens, different chemical pens to mess with the chemistry of the fax paper. So
Yeah.
alter your prints doing that. You can bleach them out, or you can do like different colors and stuff. And it's just been really fun to get back into that and kind of play with the chemistry again. It's almost like photography in a sense.
Yeah. Yep.
It's a different chemical process, but it's, you get kind of the instant thing and you get the art thing to go along with it. So
Yeah.
it's very fun.
Yeah.
I'm having a lot of fun with it.
That is awesome. I love that.
And I know
That is
Joe
so
is
cool.
too.
Yes, I am.
Excellent. Excellent. Yeah. So what else is new with you, Ted?
Well, I don't know. I've been working on a project. And that should be getting pretty close to done. So I don't know if I can announce it or not, but it's not anything particular to do with me specifically, but it's something else.
Oh, okay.
So I've been busy doing that. And I've been playing a lot with your camera.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been really getting into that. And
Also, do you find that it holds the charge like really long? It's a rechargeable camera.
I've charged it once, and that was yesterday.
Yeah.
It was like down to 40%, I think, and I was like,
Wow.
okay, now. So
That's crazy.
yeah, it's a pretty amazing little toy for
Yeah.
for what you put into it.
Exactly. Exactly.
I was a little sad that the markers they include with it weren't alcohol markers, but they're just
Oh.
water markers. So
Yeah. Well, I think I could be wrong. I think they intended it to draw the rest of the face on here. This is, it's supposed to be an animal of some sort.
well, they mention in the instructions, sort of mention coloring the photos.
Oh, okay.
you
That makes
can-
more sense.
yeah,
That makes
they,
more sense.
They show it like you color in different things. And Joe did that on his post.
Oh, okay. Oh,
don't know
I
if
haven't
you
seen that yet.
Do
I'll
you
have
use
to
the
check that
original
out.
markers?
Very cool. Very cool. Excellent.
If
Now
you-
it looks like you're being very crafty there. You're set
Well,
up for
I
something.
just got a letter in from the Guth, and so I got to
Ah,
do
yes.
a mail call post. And so I thought I'd do it.
Nice.
Well,
Oh, cool.
someone else was talking.
Yes, yes.
I don't need to narrate the whole process of
Yeah.
doing
You're also getting a lot of use out of that stamp set.
yeah, I'd use this. I have 7. I have all the platens. I have something on all of them, so
Yeah, that is
I end up
cool.
using like this one for the letter a day keeps the postman in pay.
Yeah.
Start with that. That goes right there. And then, find scrap paper to clean off the stamp.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, you can. If this is boring you, then you can.
Well,
someone else.
I did want to touch on the topic for today, which is what ghost stories does your typewriter tell,
Oh,
if any?
I
Or-
guess it
or if you-
has.
What's that?
I guess it has, but that was a long time ago.
Okay,
I don't know
okay,
if I kept any of that stuff.
okay.
There was a point where there was spirituality going on that might have been external. So
Okay, okay. I just
Never
figured
know.
it was a good Halloween themed
it's true. It's
topic.
true.
So
Yeah.
very cool. All right. Well, I guess I'll let you get to your project there, and feel free
Yeah.
to chime in at any point. You're
I'll get back
always
to you
welcome.
soon.
Yes, yes, very cool. All right. Bob, how are you? Bob Walker, I should say. I'm sorry, Bob Marshall. But Bob Walker, yes.
Hi there. It's good to be back. I missed a few for whatever one reason or another, but it's good to be back. And I was especially looking forward to the topic today because while none of my typewriters are legitimately haunted, I have developed a semi-genre of writing or mini genre of writing of historical fiction in which my typewriters tell first-person stories about their past. And so, yeah,
Ooh.
so while it's not, they're not truly haunted.
Yeah.
Most of them are good, but I do have one evil one, and the evil one is kind of the big work I'm working on now. Actually, that has the potential to be novel length, but I don't know if I have I don't know if I have that much patience to write a novel. But it's going to be a good one. It's about an evil Hermes typewriter that taunts and tries to destroy a would-be bad writer.
Now, is it the Hermes baby? Because that would be hilarious. An evil Hermes baby typewriter.
No, it's a Hermes 3000,
Okay.
1967 Hermes 3000 that the author believes might be haunted or possessed by Jack Kerouac.
Oh, very interesting. That's
Yeah, I'm
cool.
having some fun with it.
Yeah, very cool.
But I
Is it
certainly don't have any truly haunted typewriters. But I did finish up just to where they go. I mean, I had a 67 Smith Corona Corsair that went from Minneapolis with a young woman who ran away from home with her boyfriend after high school in 1968 to San Francisco. I've got my Calligraph 2, which was involved in the 1893 World's Fair, in which there was a paper machine at one of the exhibitions or at the exhibit that actually ended up back here in my hometown after the World's Fair. So the typewriter and the paper machine came together. So stories like that, in addition to
yeah,
the
very
evil
cool.
Hermes.
Yeah. Very cool. Well, thank you so much for that. And that sounds very cool.
I was
So
hoping unfortunately with Facebook, I'd like to share those somehow, but it's kind of, you just can't. I mean, I guess you can post on your own Facebook, but you can't really like reply to anybody with and you can attach a picture, you can send a picture, but you can't attach a document. And I don't like the idea of trying to take a picture of it and then read off of a JPEG file. It's just not fun at all. So
yeah, yeah.
sometime I write them more just for my own amusement than anything else, but
Okay.
would be glad to share them with people if anyone is interested.
Oh, of course. I'd definitely be interested.
I'll send you. You may regret having asked. Yeah,
That is awesome.
I'll send
Yeah,
you
very
one if
cool.
you like it. I'll send you more.
Very cool.
Okay.
Very cool. I will look forward to that. Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll make a note of it, or else I might forget.
Yeah, please do. Please do. Because I really would like to read that.
Okay.
Yeah. And have you acquired any new typewriters or gotten rid of any?
Yeah, I did, and I don't know why, because I have a shelf full, and I like to keep. I don't like to just store them, but I did acquire a little Smith Corona clipper fairly recently. It's a nice little typer. I think 1948 or so, 49. Nice machine. Yeah, yeah.
Very
Well,
cool. Yeah, I think
yeah,
that's one of those typewriters. It's hard to go wrong with it.
it is. Yeah. I'm almost thinking I might part ways with my. I've got two others from the 40s that I'm okay with. Royal Quiet Deluxe from 47, I think, and a Remington 5 from 46. They're again both nice machines, but
Yeah,
kind of like the Smith Corona.
yeah. I definitely lean towards Smith Corona as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Although certain people who know more than I do would tell you that the Royal Quiet Deluxes from the 40s, that's like the sweet spot for the Royal Quiet Deluxe, as opposed to the 50s. The 50s are the ones that are yeah, Ted is giving me the thumbs up. The ones from the 50s are the ones that are notorious for the skipping issue. So
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, I actually named my typewriters, and one that I don't have anymore was a oh God, what was it? It was Royal from, I can't remember. It's 1953. Skip like crazy. I name all my typewriters. That one was named Millie, but the other typewriters called her Skippy. just as a nickname, because
Oh,
sometimes those typewriters are cruel to each other.
oh. It's like you have characters living in your house.
I do that. Well, that's why I have fun with the stories, because what started the stories actually is I like to use the typewriters, and I figure, you sit down, you write out about the quick fox and the lazy dog, and about what all good men should be doing now. But after that, then you stare at it and you say, what do I do now?
Yep.
And so it just started as the typewriters talking and telling their stories. And then I realized, hey, you know what? I could polish these up. So when I do write those stories, the first drafts of them are always written by the typewriter that the story is about. Then I transfer it over to my computer, and then that's kind of where I massage it and finish it up. The only one that was an exception to that, and I even acknowledge it, was the calligraph tool I have. It can barely get out something about a lazy brown dog, but it certainly couldn't type out a draft of the story. So I had my 1935 L.C. Smith number 8 do the rough draft of the story. So it's the calligraph tells it through Lois Smith, the L.C. Smith. And so she's grateful to Lois for sharing the story. So anyway, but that's what started it. Is I like to use the typewriters, and then you get to the point where you got to say, God, I got to write something. And so I just kind of let it. And I found I really had fun with it, because there'd be gaps in the story, and I'd have to do a little historical research on what was going on at that time. Like when the one went out to California, I knew it was a time because of 68. I knew the interstate system was under development, but I didn't know if you were going from Minneapolis to San Francisco, what route would you take? Because some of the interstates you take now weren't there then, so I had to kind of like get into the historical, well, what roads were there? Interstate 80, pieces of it were there, pieces of it were missing. There was no Interstate 70 coming out of Denver going into the mountains. That was still 2-lane roads. So yeah, there's a lot of the little things like that, the little details that just made the writing more fun.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Did you look up any like historical maps or anything, or you were going based on memory, or?
No, my memory's pretty good, but not that far. But actually,
Okay.
in that particular case, I actually found on eBay a 1968 gas station. Gas stations used to hand out maps, and there
Yes.
was a Phillips 66 U.S. Western States map. And so, I'm trying to looking at it in a magnifying glass, because it was hard for them, because those interstates were being constructed. So, like new lanes would be added, or, new 4-lane limited access parts were being developed, in many cases right alongside where there was a U.S. highway, either a 2-lane or a 4-lane U.S. highway. But they were kind of replacing that in some places with the interstate, and in other places they left the U.S. highway in place and built the interstate somewhere else. So yeah, it was kind of fun to put together all the little pieces and the details that were necessary.
Yeah.
I did a little research when they got to San Francisco, because I was familiar with some places, but I needed to have another story. So the girl ends up working at the City Lights bookstore, and the book publishers, and so anybody who's really familiar with that's going to say, oh yeah, I know that place. And so then I had to play, well, okay, what's close to that? Where could they live? Kind of thing, and put together pieces. And again, all those things, that they just kind of made it more fun for me, because they weren't things that I would have known right off. I had the basic line of the story in mind, but then to actually get the details took that fun research.
Yeah. Wow. That does sound like fun, actually.
Well, I'll send you a story. If you like it, I'll
Yeah.
send you more.
Very cool. I will look forward to that.
All right.
Yeah. And anything else new with you?
I do a lot of bicycling. That's about it. But that season's now. I live here in central Wisconsin, and the weather's going to turn pretty quick on us.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, it was so good to see you, Bob.
Yeah, it's good to be here.
Excellent. And because we didn't get to talk to him last time, and I felt horrible. Bob Marshall, how are you? I caught him off guard. He just has to get the unmute.
We go.
Uh-oh. Is your
that
sound
work?
working? Oh, yes, I hear you.
Sorry about
Very
that.
cool. How are
I
you?
can't lie, I was over in another window looking at the illustrious Typewriter database that we all use the heck out of. So yeah. Oh yeah, last week I had several, I think I had 3 customers, one right after another, but one of them stayed after, and I think I sold 2 machines and gave back like, I don't know, 18 machines in repair or something crazy. So it was a busy week. It wasn't your fault at all. But oh, I just got back from Phoenix. Yeah. You know, I just woke up early. I left, I think, at 4:30 a.m. and I was back by 10 p.m.
Wow.
You know, I just drove for 5 or 6 hours and had a great time and had a big meal and then drove home. That was the hard part, driving home. That meal was quite amazing in my opinion.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we you know, well, it was nice to catch up with everybody and have a good time. I did purchase a few machines when I was there. There was a guy selling a few machines. Boy, I can't remember his name to save my life, but I think he was selling them mostly, you know, because his I think his wife didn't want him back in the house with all the machines. So it worked out pretty well. So that was
Yeah.
fun, I think. Although most people on the video here were there, right? Like
Yeah.
that was great. So it was great to catch up with Susan and Ron, and boy, that device you had that would bring up the uh what would you call, well, I'd call it a, what do I call it? I call it a
Like a
manuscript
It's a
holder.
copy
copy.
stand.
Copy
Yeah.
stand. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have manuscript holders where I'll put my typewritten manuscript and then move it to electronic word processing so I can send it over to my editor. So that was pretty exciting. Yeah, it was a great time. Yeah, we've just been real busy playing with typewriters. We have just a ton of business. But that's always a time when you want to expand and grow and you're real busy. So I'm also real busy moving a marching band. I actually hurt my back last night, if you can believe it. Moving a marching band, yeah, which is something. I'm a real tall guy, so my back never hurts. So
And your
I'm in a bit
finger.
of, yeah. Luckily, Grace is in this morning working, and she's moving machines around for me. So that
Nice.
helps. That
Yeah.
helps a lot. I like the idea of the spooky. I had a guy send me a manuscript a while back, and so he's doing a whole screenplay on the idea of the occult meets typewriters, which was what was his name? Densmore. You know, that was his big thing. And the occult was extremely popular at the end of the 1800s when typewriters were invented. So they're very much included in that, and we don't touch that, think of that. We don't have a relationship with that. Well, the occult in general, right? We all kind of, I don't want to say got smart and went back to church, but that's what we believe today, right? So it's all a little different. So yeah, there's a great screenplay being written about that. So we'll see. But you know, I'm in that land, if you will. But this guy just wanted he just wanted my opinion on what a typewriter community would think of it. And at the end of it all, I said, well, this is off and that is off, but the typewriter community is so small, I wouldn't worry about, you know, what we think in the world of, like, you know, what do? You know movies and you know how to make good movies. So just make a good movie.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter. And all of it was, all that he had was pretty right on. I learned a few things that, because he had gotten into Densmore's notes, and I don't even know if it's stuff you can find on the internet or not. He was very excited about it. So we'll see. The more I'm in this business, the more screenwriters I meet. I've got a guy who's really pushing hard to, he's called me maybe 3 times in as many months. You know, he wants to do a screenplay about my book. My book's called American Roadrunner. It's a book that I Oh, when did it matter? I think it came out in 2018, 2019. I forget. That's terrible when you forget your own books. You know, they're like children. You should remember. I remember I was born at the end of the year, but the big thing with that is, of course, the audiobook. I still I still collect quite fine residuals off my audiobook. The audiobook does extremely well compared to the printed book. So this guy's very excited to do a screenplay wrapped around my book. And I haven't figured out, the problem with Hollywood is that then the art turns into money, right? And where do you draw the line? So there's a lot of money involved, and there's a lot of different ways to move that money, have that money. So it goes back to business, which I'm fine with, but it'd be really neat if there was a way, if there was a way for me to stop playing with typewriters for a few months and then just dive into, well, let me write the screenplay in my off time.
Yeah.
My joke is always, well, if I only worked 40 hours a week, I'd have a lot more time to do things like, sit down with this guy and write a screenplay. So I suspect the collaboration will be more just me as what we call an expert, just like when I show up on set, I'm a typewriter expert, right? Or specialist, or insert term here. I've got
Yeah, exactly.
But everyone knows that a specialist or an expert is they're just an outside contractor that people take the opinion of. Maybe not. Maybe he'll completely turn my story around. So I think that'll be very exciting. It's always great to hear people like Bob Walker actually, use machines to write. I sometimes I wish I had the time, but I still write every now and then. Sometimes it's letters, sometimes it's deep in story. That's a great part about writing. You're really spoiling yourself and doing what you want to do. I've never written because I've had to write, I certainly don't feed my family off of my writing. I feed my family off of, getting the typewriters back to Hollywood and the like, or locally. So, we're having a lot of fun. The business is really expanding in leaps and bounds. I just couldn't imagine. At this rate, I'll probably have to quit my day job within the year, but we'll see. I won't hold myself to that. So, for all we know, we're going to take a huge recession hit soon. Who knows? That's what
You
everybody.
never know.
People are kind of gearing up for that. So, in the meantime, I'm kind of working, 60, 70, 80 hours a week, just having a good time. Today, I was going to go down to the print fair down in Carson. Did you make it down there, Gregory? Have you ever made it?
No.
Yeah, the print museum in Carson, California, which is just south of LA, down the 110. They do a great fair every year, and I think it's, I don't know, it's like $16 to get in. So, and kids are $12. It's terribly affordable compared to Disneyland or the like.
Yeah.
So I really wanted to get down there. Of course, a lot of my friends locally are there. Brian Mahoney is there. Aaron Farrell is there. Promoting typewriters in all the ways they know how to. Is Joe taking my picture? I usually charge for that.
I
Is
think
he taking a
did.
Polaroid? You're hilarious, Joe. What are you doing? I think he just took my picture. Oh, it's a little printer. Oh, that's great. Oh no, is it a Polaroid? Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
That's hilarious, Joe.
How much does it cost to get your picture?
Oh,
A lot.
usually $28 and a cup of coffee.
Oh, no problem.
Yeah, that puts a little cash in my pocket in case I get hungry later.
Oh my.
Yeah, and I prefer. I've got change.
So Bob, I have to ask you, who's going to play you in the movie?
Oh, look at that face! I'm just all.
Oh yeah, that's good.
So that's funny. There's also it's funny. I mentioned that to the writer, and he goes, "I know people say that. Don't even think about it. That's not how that works."
I know.
I said, "Well, and we're really in a lucky time. And so, if there are any other creators or creators listening, we're in a lucky time where we've learned we don't need the big studios. So similar to what books did 15, 20 years ago, what turned into Amazon with what do they call it? Like self-publishing. So similar to that, the studios can do something similar. The studio he was looking to move it to was called, I think they're called Golden. They actually had a movie out in theaters a few months ago, and it was think it was a movie about child abduction or something. So it did real well and was real popular. Unfortunately, I'm just not the fan of movies like I would be, could be, should be. Even though you'll catch me hanging out with actors, I mean, I've seen all those movies, but I think that's always a joke. My son says all of life's answers can be found in a Tom Hanks movie, right? So,
Yeah.
but I'm just not, I'm busy playing with typewriters. I'm not really in the mode.
Yeah.
So yeah, unfortunately, Gregory, I have no way to even answer that. I have no way to
I
even
know.
think about it. They may go with something. They may go with a skinny, short person, or who knows? I'm thinking, yeah, it's not even a question. I couldn't even. You'd have to find the actor who wants the work, who can do the work, one who can ride, and then if they hire me as a specialist or an expert to come in. Because then there's all that. Well, where do you get the motorcycle? Well, I've got the motorcycle right here. Do you want to rent it? Do you want to buy it? What do you want? So they have to figure all that funding out. But it's something that can be made for less than $1 million. So they're very excited about that. And believe it or not, for every movie you see on the big screen, there's 10 movies that they spent $1 million on each that don't make it. They just don't make it to the big screen. So
Oh yeah.
there's a lot of that, and I discredit that. I enjoy a customer who shows up, and before I can answer their question of how's my day, they've taken the payment slip from me and paid me via PayPal or handed me a blank check and filled it out, whatever it may be. And that's real hard in this business too, because I have other production companies who don't do that. I had one show up several months ago and they wanted to take the machines on a 30-day. I said, yeah, I don't do that. So you're gonna have to leave the machines or pay me. Well, they figured out how to pay me real quick, right? So you kind of feel bad, but there's no reason for me to do a 30-day with somebody. I've got people showing up, paying for their machines as soon as if that doesn't work, okay, well then we can't do business, and that's
Yeah.
a bummer. But in the meantime, so there's always that give and take of any business. What do people want? What are people interested in? And it always goes back to the business side of any business. So I always have to do that kind of business. It just infects whatever you're doing. If it was up to me, I just play with typewriters all day and let somebody else deal with the business. But that isn't how it works these days, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Thanks for asking. Yeah,
Of
we'll
course.
see how it works out. I don't know.
Yeah. I also want to mention to you, so the wife and I were downtown last night or yesterday.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you're familiar with Downtown Bookstore. It's in the pedestrian mall.
So I shunned them for a long time because they were quite rude to me and other local writers, but I think they're under new ownership. So I'm excited to go in there and introduce myself. Do they have a shelf of local authors?
I didn't see one, but what I'm very excited about is, so I've been going to that bookstore for a very, very long time with the original owner. And they used to have it downstairs where they had the science fiction and fantasy and whatnot.
Yeah.
But that's been boarded off for quite some time.
Sure.
But this new owner says they're going to reopen it and have events down there, which, it made me think maybe we could have typewriter meetups down there.
Yeah. No, I'm in, and I look forward to hearing the new owner's public declaration on what they do for local authors. Before I showed up and I said, hey, I'm a local author, and they said, we want nothing to do with you, please leave. So there was never a reason for me to same with the guy over on next to the Goodwill. He's the same way. They want nothing to do with local authors. They won't
Renaissance books.
So it's quite rude and inappropriate in my opinion.
What about cellar door books? They actually have a local authors section.
Where are they located?
They recently moved. They used to be in Canyon Crest Town Center, but now they're over off of Alessandro near is it Mission Grove over there?
Yeah, no, they were the same way. They wanted nothing to do
Really?
with local. Yeah, they said, listen, unless they're Dan Bernstein. And I said, well,
Oh,
let me get Dan on the phone. Here, say hello.
yeah.
You know, Dan's a family friend, so I don't know what to tell you guys.
Oh
So,
man.
you know, it's okay. When doors shut, other doors open.
Oh
Once I
yeah.
learned that, and that's hard too, because people will say, well, you're a local author. Would you like, yeah, the local scene, it's not that there's been so many doors shut for local authors in the city of Riverside. I have no reason to support it. I have no reason to have anything to do with it. I'll just be over here making my several hundreds of dollars a month, selling my book audibly. So I don't know what to tell you
Yeah.
guys. You know, that really, once I saw how rude the local organizations dealing with books are, I just, you know, well, let me do my audiobook and see how that market treats me. Well, it's treated me
Oh,
wonderfully. So,
yeah.
you know, all we
Yeah.
can ever do is speak with our money, right?
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, no,
But hopefully,
seller. I wish them all the best as small local bookstores. And I might get to a bookstore every other month if I need something, but you know, books, if whatever you need, they usually aren't going to have whatever weird, strange topic and or author and or book I'm looking for, and that's okay.
yeah.
You've got a lot of other good stuff. So I just order it off eBay, you know, which is funny. I don't even order, you know, I don't order stuff off Amazon. I just make money off Amazon from Audible, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I might sell 50 copies of my book a month, and that's nice, but no, for the most part, I'm just making money off Audible, which is now an Amazon company. But they've only
Yeah.
been an Amazon company for maybe 4 years. And I've had my Amazon account a lot longer than that.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks for chatting. Thanks for totally off the subject of typewriters. I apologize. I hope I didn't bore anybody, but
No, it's okay. It's okay. We
yeah.
didn't get to talk to you last time, so I'm
Oh,
glad we were able to make up for it.
yeah, no, I agree. No, Phoenix was really a blast, and I just thank you all
Yes.
for being there and being so kind. And it was Susan, I'm so excited that you got Darwin to show up. It was so nice to meet him and exchange stories.
He had the best time.
That's
Yeah,
great.
yeah, no, Darwin's real. I'd really enjoy hanging out with Darwin in the future. So I'll have to find a good excuse to do that.
It's a
Excellent.
beautiful place, Glenwood Springs. You should go. Visit it.
Yeah. I don't know if I can fly in like him. I've been through there several times, and I must admit it's a great little city, but you just kind of fly by. Anyone can remember Rifle, but by the time you get to what is it, something Springs?
Glenwood Springs.
By the time you get to Glenwood Springs, you're just thinking, God, I hope I get over Vale Pass without freezing to death, right? So, I don't- like what do you do in Glenwood Springs, you know? But they really haven't. I'm always so busy twisting throttle to see how fast I can move across country. In
Oh.
that yeah, I need to just slow down, stop in. And that was the fun part last week when I listened in. Gregory was talking about his adventure of the road and getting to it. So was Susan. It was a lot of fun. Sean just couldn't dig himself out of the snow that they had there, so that's okay. I've gotten this really great, Sean turned me on to this really great Instagram. I think it's called Oh Canada, and I just die laughing. You know, these Canadians just have such a wonderful attitude about so many things, including the snow. Yeah, in Southern California, we'd all kill each other if we got snow everywhere. We wouldn't know what to do, but I really enjoy that, and how they have to move business around, you know, their seasons. So I think that's quite exciting. I mean, right now our doors open, the fans going. Where'd Grace go? Oh, Grace just snuck out. I didn't even see her. That's funny. You know, it's a beautiful day here in Southern California. I don't know how they do it in Canada. I mean, what do you do with all the burning rubber smell, Sean? Or all the chemical smell? Like, do you have a big vent? I mean, how do you?
Yeah, we just in the winter I stop doing certain work.
Right, and that would drive me nuts.
Yeah.
And I give you a lot of. Although there's a few days during the summer when it touches. If it's 105 outside, I'm not going to be out there burning rubber. So I give you a lot of I give you a lot of credit. Yeah, you just gotta move it around a bit. So I've had a lot of fun with that. But no, we're doing well. We're very blessed in business, and we're working hard to get things caught up. This is neat. This is one of the first portable twos. I'm working on this. I just finished this guy up for a customer.
Ooh,
Um,
nice.
But again, it's one of the first ones, so it's really, you can really see the difference. And the way you can tell is it doesn't have the guards, right?
Oh yeah.
So I just found the year. This is a 1923 from what the database tells me. Black, yeah, portable two. And you know, they just, the improvements that they made on these things in the mid-20s were totally worth it. Even though they look very similar to the same machine. Half these key bars, this thing had been dropped or mishandled. So half the key bars, you know, I had to like re-bend stuff and bend stuff in the segment. And it was a real pain in the keister, I'm not gonna lie. But at the end of the day, I think it, hold on, let me move my light here. I think it really turned into a beautiful machine. Anytime we're done with the machines, we do this QC slip. And so every machine that leaves us is a Muse certified machine, complete with quality control paper. So that's fun. You know, something different.
Yeah.
Something different that just says weed type on it. So can you. Wow.
In the chat, Joe says that his is a 1922.
Oh, okay. Joe Van Cleve, yeah.
Yep.
Well, and I get it. They're great machines. I have one of them I tried to carry around for a while. But compared to my I had the Skywriter, right? So my portable would not put up with the rigid rear end on my motorcycle or my old Skywriter.
Oh.
But yeah, no, they're great. And this thing types like a dream. Of course, I mean, because it's got all new rubber. I just put a new platen on it, new rollers. He didn't want the bar rest replaced. So that's okay. But no, this seems great.
Excellent.
I really enjoy that. I had to do a bunch of work to this machine. It's a very in-depth repair. So I'm excited to get it back to the customer. And this customer came down from Bakersfield.
Oh, okay.
How far is that?
That's a ways. Yeah, that's a ways.
He was very excited to have me work on this one, and I called him to ask a few questions. Oh, what? Do you want black ribbon or black and red ribbon? If I'm not careful, I forget to ask the customers that. So that's usually why I call. Probably 1 in 10 customers I have to call back on. I didn't make a note. What kind of ribbon do you want, right? Yeah, he wants to bring me another machine. And then I had someone else call me from Bakersfield. My point, for those who don't know, Bakersfield is this great community north of us, and it's, you know, they're technically in Kern County. It gets warm there. They have a lot of farming, so a lot of migrant traffic, and it's not the place you would expect to maybe have people who are excited about typewriters. It's very blue collar. That's what I mean to say. I mean, I'm
yes.
collar, so I wear blue collar every day. So it's great to have people from Bakersfield and then have them drive down to drop machines off for repair. It's got to be 200 miles, you know, or just under 200 miles. So it's a 3.5 hour drive coming down the Grapevine and everything. Yeah, it's quite a bit. So I'll take it as quite a compliment. And that's been a lot of fun. We've been looking at that. I think the center of our traffic, or people who do business with us, is somewhere, 20 miles west, city of Ontario, maybe Corona. So I'm looking at different and or other places to move locations in the near future, just so I'm in the center of my customer base. I think that would assist them as it would assist me. Riverside's a great town, but it may not be the end all be all for Muse. So we shall see.
Excellent.
We're having fun.
Very cool. It's so good to see you, Bob, and I'm glad we got to talk to you.
Yeah. Oh, you know what, Gregory? We're doing. There's a guy doing a documentary thing. Anyways, I may call you in a week or two. He wants to have me on it, and he asked me if there were other people, and I mentioned you because you're local. So it'll probably be you just come over to the showroom for an hour and answer some questions, and go from
Interesting.
probably questions like, how much money do you make? Did you pay your taxes this year? Stuff like that. But it obviously it's all based around creative writing, typewriters, etc. So I've been fortunate enough to be kind of included in this project. But he's a good local guy. Well, he's a guy that I do all those commercials with.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, his name's Mark with Be Local. Yeah, so that'll be a
Nice.
lot of fun. Well,
Very
it's a
cool.
project he picked up, so I
I'll look
mentioned.
forward to that.
Anyway, just a heads up. Thank you.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool. Oh, let me share the YouTube chat. We have some people in there. I want to be sure and include them. Yes. Oh, let's see. Here it is. Yes, so we have our friend Ovi. He says, hello, everyone, watching you on YouTube since I am sick and cannot talk. Oh, no.
Oh, get better, Ovi.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. But hopefully you feel better soon. We have our friend Indro joining us. Watching remote from France, preparing departure back Holland tonight. So no video and no talking from this side, but enjoying as always. Greetings. And greetings to you, Indro. We have Matt joining us. Good evening from London, UK. And then we have Thomas Fasano joining us from, oh, he doesn't say where he's from. But he says, love the thermal photos. Yes. I highly recommend those little cameras. So much fun. So definitely. Yeah.
Hey,
Very
Gregory,
cool.
one thing that I wanted to add that was based on something that Bob Marshall had said is, about the writing with typewriters. One of the things that it's kind of reacquainted me with is the notion that now I actually have the first draft of a story that I write. When we got into computers, sometimes you might say version 1, version 2. I would rarely do that, and unless I had some specific reason to. And so you never really saw anything other than the finished version of what you wrote.
Exactly.
And it's kind of cool when you're done then with something to kind of have something else to look back on and say, yeah, this is how it started. And I thought about it a little bit because while I'm not doing it anymore, I was teaching for a while just as an adjunct instructor at what we call them technical colleges or community college. And I was teaching writing. And I wish almost that I was doing more typing back then because I talked to students about first drafts, but you never really could show them something because the first drafts always disappear with a computer.
Yep.
And it,
Yep.
With a typewriter, it's kind of like, yeah, this is where it started. This, you can see where I went, how this process goes. I almost wish I would have been able to then to maybe challenge them to write with a typewriter on a first draft and then see where it goes so that they could actually literally see that transformation occur.
Exactly. So when my wife and I were dating, we took a trip together to New York City, and we visited the New York Public Library, which is mind-blowing. And they happen to have an exhibit of manuscripts, and seeing these original manuscripts with handwritten corrections and typos and whatnot and Xing out, and it's that's a big part of the story of the writing process, so yeah, so there's definitely something lost when people strictly write on computers. Microsoft Word has that feature where it'll track changes, but that's not the same.
Yeah. What you're saying there reminds me, I wish I could remember the name. God, there was a woman who was Doris Kearns Goodwin. She's a historian. She was married to a guy who was a speechwriter for Lyndon Johnson. And she turned over his papers that had these original drafts of speeches and then the handwritten notes. And oh my gosh, I was fascinated by it. She was on C-SPAN, which is normally like watching paint dry. But this particular one is kind of like, wow, I wish I could see that. Because some of those great speeches, you wonder, well, you're pretty sure they didn't start out that way, but how did they get that way? What did they start at it? What little switches were made along the way that turned them into the iconic speeches that they are now. So yeah, and a typewriter, it does that. It gives you that kind of like permanent record of how things started.
Yeah, definitely. Excellent. Well, thank you for that. So Thomas Fasano corrected me. He said he's in Claremont, California, which is actually just down the freeway. So he's very close by. That's cool. Thanks again for joining us, Thomas. And let's see here. Sean, how are you doing?
Hey, howdy, everybody.
Howdy.
Unlike you lucky California folks that get to wear t-shirts, I'm bundled up because it's going to snow like 12 centimeters tonight.
Oh, wow. Yeah, this past week we had a resurgence of summer. So we were up just under 100 again. So
Thanks for putting it in, Gregory. You've never been like that in the past, but that's whatever.
How tall is 12 centimeters? That's my question.
I don't know. What is that? 8 inches? No, wait, less. 6 inches.
6. Yeah.
About 6.
2.54 centimeters.
Thanks, Joe. Joe's my Google conversion guy, so I'll just say centimeters and he'll convert them into you.
There you go.
2.54. I remember. Good for you.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see. I mean, we're putting all the hoses away and making sure all the outside taps, because here's what you guys don't have to worry about down there. We got to turn off our water to the outside taps so they don't freeze and pop, pipes, put all the hoses away, pack up the garage with the last bit of stuff you need to get out of the house. What else? Raking leaves, I don't really bother with that. I just wait for my neighbor to do that, and then a wind comes up and then moves them all over to his yard. So works good that way. But yeah, anyway, yeah, all good. You asked about ghost stories.
Yeah,
and very similar to Bob. Bob probably had the one that most people would think about. I think when your typewriters write ghost stories, or at least mine, I always think about the people that owned them before and where they were and what they did and who they went through. But I had to add a little more of a dramatic flair to my story. So it tells the stories of its past, its trials and tribulations of the owners, their scary journeys, always flirting with garbage and the dump, but returning from the dead, reanimated again to life, put to use through their action, and overcoming zombification to return to a life of usefulness. It's a good news typewriter zombie story. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
I think everybody thinks about that. Where were they, right? What did they do? Who owned them? Were they good or bad? Were they just, you can tell sometimes typewriters sat there in closets for decades, especially in the 70s and the 80s when people could afford them and buy them, but they didn't really use them a lot. But the farther you go back, people spent a lot of money buying these and definitely used them. And, those the Remington 2s that, Bob's got and that Joe's got. And I mean, those were hardworking typewriters compared to ones bought in the 80s. They just sat in grandma's closet for 30, 40 years until somebody got rid of them. And I guess the real scary typewriter story would be all the ones that were just chucked away instead of being sold or given away, and are sitting in dumps somewhere right now. Like, anyway.
Excellent.
As far as, because it seems like it's been a while since I've been here. I had a very busy year with a lot of other obligations that is finally over, and it's hard to be in the basement in the summer in Canada writing letters and doing typewriter stuff because you feel like you're wasting the 6 weeks of summer. So now that it's getting colder, I can be down here doing all of that, and my progress has been slow for letters. I'm really behind, but I got a new typewriter table. I've got 7 typewriter tables now. And I'm not saying that to be mean or look at me, but they are super, super useful. We had Canadian Thanksgiving a couple weeks ago, and guess what I used to move around the mashed potatoes and the cranberry sauce? And
you're so cool.
It was so super good because Carol was always like, "Why do we have all these typewriter tables?" And I'm like, "Because I might want to type somewhere." But anyway, I put one in the bathroom with a typewriter in case somebody was inspired. But we moved the mashed potatoes around on a couple other typewriter tables. So I recommend typewriter tables. You can even have a mobile cocktail bar. Just saying.
I hope you sanitize the keys on that typewriter after the party.
Oh shoot, that's a good idea. Yeah. Well, I only worried about that if I heard clicking and clacking from the bathroom.
Okay.
And so I didn't hear anything. I kept the cover on it, and anyway, yeah, left it with a big stack of paper. You're right. You probably should clean that thing off. Ugh, gross.
Was it a big stack of paper or a big roll of paper?
Yeah. Well, there was a roll that if you were really inspired, you could, do a Joe and pull your your paper all the way through your roll. But yeah. I think my biggest win over the last couple weeks, my brother went to a antique mall and found a Hermes 3000 for it would have been $60 US, which is a super smoking good deal when it comes to Hermes 3000s. As everybody knows, the prices are stupid. So I'm basically not keeping that one. I'm just fixing it and passing it on to a gal here in town who has been dying for a Hermes 3000 for like 3 years. And she didn't want to pay the exorbitant prices that she was seeing. So I finally got this after a couple of years and told her about it, and she was super excited. So of course I need new knobs because they are all crumbled off and grody. So I've got to find some new green. It's a second series boxy with the green keys before they went to the white keys. So it just needs the green side knobs. And so I got to find some knobs to put back on it. And then, yeah, I'll make one person happy in the world at least. And I've got a couple more typewriters we're waiting for to come in so that I can equip a lady who teaches in a girls' school here in Calgary. She wants a typewriter for her class so that she can encourage her students to write and journal and type. So I thought probably best to get her a nice, 60s Smith Corona. They're good and they're solid. They're built like bricks, and she can use that for the gals who will be able to type their stuff. So that's exciting. My journey of paper clips. Now, I was always going to fall down this rabbit hole, but Joe in his old videos back when he did the Confessions of an Office Supply Junkie obviously exacerbated my problems. All of you people exacerbate my problems with your toys tools. If I wasn't on here, I probably wouldn't have as much crap. Anyway, so paper clips, the old standard gem clip. Everybody knows the gem. Everybody uses the gems. Oh, easy crepes. So there's the gem, right?
Yeah.
Well, did you know there was an improved gem?
Oh, it's kind of pointy.
It's pointy, so it can go onto paper better. But also, so I've got gold-plated paper clips.
Oh, yeah.
So these are 24 karat gold-plated. Like, who would have thought they would have gold-plated paper clips? I mean, come on. Yeah, so special letters will get gold paper clips.
Wow.
Which is pretty much everybody that writes me. I'll put a gold paper clip on there.
Oh.
So yeah, anyway, paper.
And you, Sean, you're not an enabler at all for us.
Oh, good.
Not at all. Yeah, you don't have any influence on our paperclip collecting or.
Well, yeah, if you guys have bought paper clips, then great. I will say sorry about that, but it's worth it. They're cheap and they're fun and they make you feel good. And vintage paper clips, why buy a new paper clip when you can get vintage ones? You can find them in their boxes. There's tons. They bought bazillions back in the day and not everybody used them. Obviously shipping on eBay and things like that will cost a little more. It might not be as much worth it, but to have vintage paper clips, I think that's way better. And you know what? You don't have to feel bad about using them either. So go crazy. And then I was going to show this, but I didn't. I did go a little funny. I ended up getting a license plate. I'm going to put that on my truck here soon.
Nice.
The only problem with
so that reads Typewriter.
Well, it reads typewriter in Alberta, where you can't have 8 characters like you can in Ontario. So that was anyway. I wish I had 8 characters, but I only had 7, so I had to make it work, and that was as close. And then the other thing I'll show you this finally is because this was awesome. Some of you have seen this on Instagram.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So this is a Japanese tin toy.
What? Oh my goodness.
Oh, wow.
Everybody's on eBay right now. Oh my goodness, the paper went in.
That's great.
Oh wow.
Isn't that awesome?
And
Oh
the
my
carriage
goodness.
moves too.
That's great.
Her hands fall off. So anyway,
Oh,
yeah. Yeah, that
wow.
Japanese 1950s Japanese tin toy, like it was in great shape. It didn't have its box or anything, but I mean the thing's in great shape. Takes a couple D's and like wow.
Wow.
So just what I didn't need. But
Yeah.
yeah, and I
And
know
what
it's
is she writing?
sorry.
What is she writing?
She's rating always be a good boy and a good girl.
Okay. Okay.
Very wise.
Good message.
Yes. Yes.
But yeah, no, I know it's not appropriate to say in this day, but let's put ourselves back in the 50s for a sec. I've got my own secretary now. She doesn't write
Yes.
much. She doesn't do a very good job of transcribing things, but
Does her hair ever get brushed?
yeah, well, her hair looks pretty good. I brush it at night because it, bundles up. No, other than that, yeah, paper clips and fountain
Very
pens,
cool.
stupid fountain pens. Oh, so
Yeah.
finally, I'll give you guys another thing to get into. Somebody posted on Instagram probably about a month ago a picture of a book cover from the 1950s. You guys might remember, the older folks, pulp sleaze. The kinds of books that they kept in certain sections of convenience stores that if you went there through the beaded curtain, that was also movies and VHS tapes in the 80s, then you were very sensitive about that. Well, somebody posted a picture of an office pulp sleaze book from the 50s with
Oh wow.
lady with her, like, I guess you'd call it typewriter cheesecake type stuff too, but a little dirty. So now I'm going to be into trying to collect typewriter related pulp office sleaze books. And it's a bit exciting because it's still sort of taboo. From when I grew up, you would have never even walked to that section of the store to look at those because you would have felt that everybody was watching you. So I bought one and I'm waiting for it to come in so I can secretly hide in a corner and read it and see what all the fuss was about back in the 50s and 60s with these dirty books. It might not be bad at all, but anyway. There it is.
Just look for the dog-eared pages.
Yeah, that brings up other things I didn't think about, but anyway, yeah, okay.
But
Want to
say,
sanitize those too.
I know.
Yes, yes.
That's exactly what I was thinking, Ted. As Gregory said that, I'm like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have bothered buying one of those because
but I am curious what your typewriter there is.
oh, that's a coal steel. So the typewriter table I bought is a coal steel, and for those of you who know, coal steel was a huge office furniture company back in the day. So they did desks and filing cabinets and all sorts of stuff, and they did typewriter tables. So I finally found a typewriter table, and I have a coal steel typewriter. This is basically a West German ABC typewriter from 50s and 60s. Not the greatest typewriters ever made. This one works fine, but others I've had are absolutely the worst typewriters ever, but they're very super stylish and excellent looking, like they're really attractive. So I just put it obviously with my typewriter table so I could take a picture of two coal steel things together. But yeah, it's read Richard Polt's blog on the coal steel, and that sort of summarizes the coal steel. Yeah, there you
Bob
go.
has one there.
Bob, yeah. So, we have to compare typewriters. Awesome. I love it. I'm always hoping one day when somebody shows a typewriter, we compare serial numbers and it turns out that they're like 10 away or 3 away. I think that would be a super cool win. Bob, you got a later series in mind because you got the little thingy sticking out beside the little cover.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So this is a 2 series. I think that's a 3.
This one's really nice. There's not a problem with it. It'll be on my showroom floor soon.
Yeah, this one's works good, but some of them just horrible. I know people do like them, and I no offense to anybody who does, but they are beautiful looking typewriters.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, and this one came with look at this. This is a whole guide on your coal steel typewriter.
Cool.
Bob, have you thought about getting those reproduced? Because nerds like us would need to have that with our typewriter.
I know, right?
Uh-huh.
That'd be the way to do it. I've got the copier. Oh, it even came with this. Look at this. Hang on. Sorry, I'm juggling here. Certificate of guarantee put out by the Steel Coal Company. This one was sold in Ohio, apparently. And can you see the serial number? Oh no, the date of sold. I'm sorry, date of sold.
1959.
Isn't
Yeah.
that fun?
December
Yeah.
19th or October 12th.
Something fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, these little guides are great. I was telling Grace yesterday, I need to make something like this and then have it all, point back to Joe Van Cleve or the Typewriter database or all other
Yes.
information. Just give them away when I sell machines. People have a lot of questions that's why I just do appointments when I sell machines to people or service their machines, but because they'll be here at least a half an hour, if not longer, with questions, and that's good. So,
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah. Anyways, thanks for letting me share.
Yeah.
Thanks for adding to that Cold Steel show and tell, Bob. That was great.
I
Yeah.
thought that was so cool. You got the you got the desk as well as the machine. Good for you, sir. Well done.
Yeah, well, thank you. I've been waiting to find a Cold Steel specifically. I mean, my favorite ones are the high-low stands. If you ever get a typewriter table, the high-low stands are the ultimate best typewriter table ever made. They typically come with wooden tops and wooden sides, and they're spring-loaded leaves that pop up. If you find a high-low, buy it. It's awesome. But Cold Steel is, a good solid thing as well. So
Nice.
Yeah.
So I'll call it an extended ribbon cover because it's that whole top, right?
yeah,
On the typewriter there. It
Yeah.
just pops off. Okay.
So yeah, good looking
Very
all
cool.
thing. It's a pretty hardy looking unit, but when you get under it, I mean, Bob can probably tell you too. I mean, the escapement is just really, really simple. It's not as complex. It's really hard to adjust if you bend or form, Ted, form one thing, it'll throw off 5 other things downstream. It's much more finicky that way. So you got to have a working
Trust me,
typewriter.
I have one of those with a non-working escapement.
Oh.
I had to part it out because it was just it started off where where it has that kind of leather rubbery thing inside the escapement that always goes away and causes problems. It started with that, and somebody before me had tried to fix it without knowing about that, and so they started bending stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And by the time I got it, there were pieces that were actually broken off, like from
Oh,
stress bends and stuff. And I was like, well, it's pretty, but it's parts.
Oh.
Yeah, I ended up having to sell the one I couldn't fix. I
you
couldn't
know.
fix mine. This other one I had, I ended up having to sell it to an interior decorator to use as a staging item
Yeah.
for houses.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
they have weak escapements.
Yeah. So anyway,
Oh,
they're
that's
beautiful.
unfortunate. Yeah. Very nice to look at.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And then I have nothing else except to say just thanks to Ted for the Corona 4 manual. So I've owned and had Corona 4s for as long as I've been in typewriters now, and fixed a ton of them. I just love Corona 4s. But thank Ted for all your work putting that manual together and putting it out, because I've definitely, like as you always do, you're always learning. I've learned
You
some
learn
things.
stuff. There's a lot of stuff in
Oh,
that manual.
God, I
That's-
fixed some problems that I've had on older Coronas that I was just living with.
Yeah,
That it was like, oh, I didn't know this was
It's
like
like,
this.
yeah, there's this little adjustment here that
Yeah.
I when I was going through it, it was very enlightening.
Yeah, so very useful. So thank you, Ted, for all of the time and effort you do to put all that together.
Okay, and remember, you have to write me a letter so I can write you a frontispiece to glue into yours.
Oh yeah, I do have to write you a letter. Yeah, I'm a really big fan, Gregory, of having, I know the author. Look at this book here. See, there's a note here from Ted that says, stop bending things, form only, signed Ted.
Very cool.
Yeah. Anyway, that's it for me. Thank you.
All right. Always good to see you, Sean.
You guys too.
All right. So let me get back to the YouTube chat briefly. There's a couple more additions there. Yes. So let's see. Indro said thanks. I'm not sure for what, but you are welcome, Indro. Matt Dow says, I have just won a mint condition Olympia Monica on eBay for £46. Wow, that sounds like an amazing deal. Wow. Very cool, and congratulations on that. Then Mark says, I recently got a Corona Zephyr missing the return lever for 20 pounds. Wow. You don't need a return lever.
Well, keep in
Excellent.
mind, the return lever of a Zephyr is not quite a return lever. It's a sort of return push, thumb push slide.
Oh,
So I don't know what his looks like, but just in case,
okay.
you know, it doesn't have a lever in the sense of it. It's got this little pushy thing that moves over.
Yeah, okay. Excellent. Thank you for that. And since Joe is busy typing, let's talk to Joe. Oh, he's got the flow going, man. I interrupted him.
You interrupted me. No, it's lucky if I have the flow going these days. I wrote 5 letters yesterday, and then I went into my bag of remaining letters, and there's still 16 left. So
oh my.
I'm way behind, but anyways, that's the way it is. So
Yeah.
well, I don't really have a story per se for your subject today, but I think an old typewriter, an old black typewriter with round keys has to be the scary typewriter, right? It can't be like a blue typewriter from 70s or 60s. So it has to be an old typewriter, probably like a Royal 5 or an early Underwood, or maybe one of the, I think actually, if you go by name, like what name sounds spooky, a Densmore, doesn't that sound spooky? Like you can imagine an old bat-filled mansion in New England.
The Densmore mansion has been haunted for 70 years since the murders.
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
that was good.
Even Edgar Allan Poe won't go there. Yeah. So anyways. Well, yeah. So thanks to you, Gregory. We now have these little thermal pictures that, I'm still working on the first roll of paper. I think I'm getting down there. Yeah, it's getting low, but I still have, a box here I bought off Amazon of 10 more of them.
Wow.
Yeah, 10 more. Haven't even tried them yet, but so these are almost free the way I count the cost. It's like under 3 cents a picture. I think each roll will do about 60 prints, roughly, they say. And,
wow.
So anyways, yeah, it's been fun. So what I started doing yesterday is including a photo of each typewriter that I used in the letter that I wrote.
Nice.
So
nice.
So anyways, yeah, nothing else really going on, I guess. It's supposedly autumn, right? It's supposed to be autumn. It's the 22nd of October, and it's still green out. The trees are all green here in New Mexico, or at least down in Albuquerque here. My trees are only starting to slightly turn yellow in some of the leaves, but I think up in the high country, up north of Santa Fe, the aspens have already turned color. But yeah, it's been a very warm autumn, unseasonably warm, so which was really good for our balloon fiesta this year. It was fun. So
yeah. Excellent.
Yep. And other than that, I don't think I have any new machines, which is a good thing because I already have too many new machines. This summer I was counting maybe 5, I think 5 new machines. Anyways, I was writing, this is actually Doug Jackson. I'm writing a letter to him, and I'm having to mentally come up with a list of all the machines that I've gotten this summer, including this Singer Graduate, which is a Remington Monarch clone.
Yes.
Anyways,
Very cool.
Doing that and having fun. And I've been shooting video, by the way. You probably saw the one video I did. This thing shoots video. I went on a walk the other day and used it as a street photography camera. So that was kind of fun, walking around the neighborhood with a little kid's camera, so I'll probably be shooting some video with it one of these days and putting it online also. That'll be fun.
Nice. We will look for that, definitely.
Yeah, so it's been fun with Ted's prolific blogging. He's been really setting the pace for everybody that typewriter blogs. Ted seems to blog one a day at least, so it's always fun to catch up with him every day. So
very cool.
Anyways, that's about it for me.
Okay, excellent.
Yep.
Always good to see you, Joe.
Thanks. Good to see you here.
Susan, how are you doing?
I'm fine. Glad to see everyone. A lot of people who we haven't seen for a while, so that's very nice.
Yeah.
I did get a new typewriter. I was gifted a typewriter,
Ooh.
and I'm calling it my Arizona typewriter
Oh.
because it's a Tower President.
Oh, wow.
Wow, nice.
And it is just lovely. It is, of course, the Tower President was a Sears. Sears sold the Tower line. It was made by Smith Corona. So essentially it is a silent super, and it has a elite typeface, and it was gifted to me by Scott, who is Typewriter Minutes on YouTube. And it has a holiday case, but it's not the regular solid color holiday case. It's still got the smooth finish, but it looks like it's got a tweedy look to it, but it's actually not fabric. It's, this same old holiday case.
Okay.
And he was very sweet to gift that to me. I had loaned him some ephemera, and so he could make some copies. And he had seen that on Facebook that I had commented on someone's post about their new Tower President, that boy, I never see those out in the wild. And he said, I have 3. And so I've cleaned this one up to give to you. So that was very exciting.
Yeah.
And so that was great. And I also wanted to show, I had talked about this little stapler last time. This is the swing line Cub. And it takes wider staples than just your standard staples. So when I run out of staples, I will not be using it anymore. Or I just won't be using it, so I'll always have staples, one of the two.
There you go.
And I don't have a ghost story, but I will say that today is the anniversary of the day that I acquired my first Hermes 3000.
Oh, wow.
Facebook sent me a reminder. And so, as you know, that makes it a very significant day for me.
Oh, yeah.
Congratulations. Happy Hermes anniversary. I'm
Yeah.
celebrating with you,
Hermes
Susan.
anniversary. That's right. That's
Yeah.
And so that's really all I have going on. I mean, I've been trying to write more letters, and I did lose a machine. I gave away a machine this week. My wonderful husband went to a garage sale a few months ago, and he bought a Selectric 3 typewriter for $1.
Wow.
And when he brought it home, we plugged it in, and the motor works, and it will actually type, but not correctly. And it's just totally wrong. And of course, the thing is huge, and I just didn't want it. But he said, honey, I bought it for you because it was just $1, and I knew you wouldn't want me to leave it there. So someone this week contacted me and said, Susan, do you know anybody who has a Selectric 1 or a Selectric 2 that's just junk and they want to get rid of? And I said, no, but I know someone who has a Selectric 3. And so I gave him the Selectric 3, and he's already torn it apart and cleaned it all out, and is now working on fixing a few remaining small issues. And I said, this is awesome, because now you can be the repair person for my Selectrics should anything happen to me. So I got rid of a Selectric 3, and somebody else is on their Selectric journey. So that's very exciting.
That is definitely.
And where, Susan, if you don't mind, where is that wrong guy? Like, he's never on here. I mean, you're really cool, but he has some cool parts himself. He could be standing right there behind you.
No, he's at work. He's at work. He
Okay,
works
wow.
on the weekends. That's when he's the busiest.
Right.
And he's a district manager for a retail company, and so he has to be available on the weekends, and he's out talking to customers and associates and doing his thing. So yeah, he's not here. He is a very cool guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had so much fun chatting with him in Phoenix, you know.
Yeah, he is a very cool guy. And he loves
I'll
his
just
new Groma Calibri. I have to say, he just loves that machine. That was a great machine that he was gifted, and he adores it.
Yeah, I'll just have to give him a call sometime or whatever. That's great.
Yeah.
Always good seeing you guys. Thanks again.
Yeah, we had a great time. It was the best time. So yeah, so now I have to commemorate my experience of going to Phoenix. I have my beautiful desert tower president.
That is excellent. Excellent. Yeah, I really like the color on those. Very
Oh,
nice.
it is spectacular. I mean, I always heard that they were great machines, and of course they are the Smith Corona machines, so you would expect them to be great. But the Sears had just a style about them that they picked some great colorways to do their tower machines.
Yeah. And that
but
logo too.
Yeah,
I like
it's
that. on
super
the
appropriate. The logo is just gorgeous. I mean, that tower across the top,
Yep.
it's so Art Deco,
I love that.
and then on the back, it's got the tower also.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in great shape.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he cleaned it. Okay, he cleaned it and serviced it and everything, so it is in immaculate condition. He says, "Oh, it's not perfect." And I'm going, "Okay, what's wrong with it?" Because I don't see anything. I don't see a single mark on it that is wrong with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was thrilled.
Yeah. Rightfully so. It's very nice and generous. Yeah. Excellent. Well, it's so good to see you, Susan.
It's always good to see you, Gregory. I'm so grateful that we have this group.
Oh, you're welcome. You are welcome. Let's see. On the YouTube chat, I'm not going to bother sharing it. There's just one new addition. But Christopher McKellar is watching us from Utah. So he says, hello, all enjoying. Excellent. Thank you for joining us, Christopher. All right. And let's see. Robert is here. That's what it says on the screen. It says Robert is here. How are you, Robert?
Hello, my friend. Hello, hello. First of all the best to Ovi. Hope he will get well soon, and he may listen to us or not. Hope he's getting well soon. Nice friend here. I like it. We had already some conversation on the other channel, so it's a nice guy, and so hope that everything will be fine. Well, haunted typewriters, I don't have anything to say. Well, not much, but I have a black, dark typewriter with ring keys, and it looks kind of like when maybe the movie Ratatouille with the rat cooking.
Oh, yeah.
The opponent, how was his name? Antoine Ego, he had a typewriter which really looked kind of like a skull. So I have an old Triumph which looks quite like that, but it's in the other room. So, and now I got a little, I got one of these things too, but it's not a camera, it's a printer in the style. But you can put the products you are printing from the handy, you can send via Bluetooth. And here I get a little guessing game. I want to present one of my newest typewriters. I think for all of you American, it might be very boring, but here in Europe, it's really hard to get one of these. This is my new typewriter.
Oh, nice.
Very nice.
They're really
those are
bad.
never boring.
They're really bad to get here. So I just swap the camera, and then you may see it in original. It's not in perfect style. Jetzt muss ich mal gucken. Das ist die falsche Kamera. Just a second. That's the right camera, I think. Yeah. So this is my Corona 3. But come on, will it focus a bit? Hello, focus.
There he goes.
Please. Okay. So I think if you're in America, you know it. It's a an American bread and butter machine, but here it's really a variety. I know variety. One thing is, which is a bit bad, it has a big crack here in the platen.
Ooh.
So I have to try to refurbish it or maybe fill in something, and I'm not sure about it. And there's no box, but it folds as it has to fold, as it's supposed to fold. So
Nice.
a nice little thing. I like these little 3-bank machines, and hope to get it in a good shape to use it a bit more. I had typed something with it. It has a quite small typeface, so just dropped my paper. Just a second. So here's a little type sample. It has a small font, a little small. So come here. This was typed with the Corona 3.
Ooh.
You see, it's just
Oh,
it's not
good.
very perfect, but it's quite okay, I think. And it's one as far as I've researched by Typewriter database, it is 102 years old. It's from 1920, so a little old lady, and so I'm happy to have it here. What I have to figure out, I've seen the ribbon spooling is a bit different as I have it here. So normally I think they're winding this way, so I have to figure out. But yeah, will be a bit work, but it's a nice thing. So
Yeah.
now I'm turning back to that you can see my tired face because it's evening here. You all having your breakfast, and I had a busy Sunday. Had to repair my bicycle, had some problems. My cat, I think you have seen him. He
Yeah.
had been at the veterinary. He had some problems, but now everything is fine.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, so what else typewriter related do I have? Have I told you about the project from the punk band in Germany? A punk band was asking me or is asking me to write their lyrics by typewriter so that they can publish them on their CD inlet. They want to have it typewritten, their lyrics.
Yeah.
This is one of my projects right now, and then I'm waiting for an old Gosen tipper with glass keys. So there are really, I hope it will find the way in a good shape to me. And always I'm thinking too many typewriters. Oh, now there's a nice offer. Too many typewriters. Oh, nice offer. You know, I think you know the problem.
Yeah.
Okay. On the other hand, same as we always talking here on the Weather Channel. Yes, it's getting autumn here too. The leaves are falling. It's getting colder and colder, and so I think I like autumn, of course, but in the morning it's quite chilly on the bicycle. So
Oh, yeah.
okay, I have to get more jackets and other things, but it's okay.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm thinking. No more idea. So I'm
Okay.
happy to be here as always, and
Yes.
I'm happy to listen to all of you, what you are telling me now.
Very good. It's always good to see you, Robert.
Yes, happy.
Excellent. Let's see. I'll check in on the YouTube chat real quick again. Ovi says, "Thank you for all your kind words. I will get better and we'll catch up." Yes, that is good to hear. Yes. From our friend Uvi in Romania. Yeah. Let's see. Diane Wang, how are you? I had to specify because we have two Dianes in the room. How are you doing? Uh-oh, you might not have sound. Oh no.
It should be working. There we go.
There we go. There we go.
Sorry, I
got
forgot
you
to
now.
switch it.
Oh. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? How's everybody?
Very good. Very good. Yeah. Anything new with you?
Just been working a lot lately because I work at retail, so the hours are not fun.
Oh,
They
yes.
have me booked in the weekend. That's why I can barely make it now. I actually called out today. I was supposed to go to work, but I was like, I miss my typewriter friends. Fuck work.
Oh.
Sorry for my bad words. But yeah. I've been working a lot, so I was like, I'll take a break since my coworker is willing to take my shift. So thanks
Oh,
to
well, that's
I
good.
was able to come today.
Nice.
Nice.
Better hope your
nice.
boss doesn't watch this.
I know. Huh?
My boss, no, they're not that type of people. Like I don't know, it's weird. Like I really wish I have some real life friends that are also into like typewriters and stuff.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, I just find them fascinating and I always like typing. So I guess it was like a really easy hobby for me to get into. But like whenever I tell my other friends, they're just be like, boring, you're a nerd, like
Mhm.
something like that. And I'm just like, oh, okay, I guess you don't care about it.
So Diane, we're not real life friends then. We're just sort of
I
virtual
wouldn't
friends.
when I say real life friends, as in
I'm
like
just
I've
kidding.
seen you in person.
Right. I know. I'm just
Yeah.
In real
I mean, you
life.
guys are real. I'm not saying y'all fake, but
Yeah.
AI generated typewriter people.
like personal friends, I don't have that
Yeah.
interested. I mean, they would think it's cool, but they won't be interested in like they want to learn more about it if they want to get into it. I
Yeah.
told a couple friends about it and they were like, oh, that's cool, but that kind of just stops there. So
Yeah.
Mhm. They're like,
yeah.
interesting. That's
But
neat.
Yeah.
nothing new. I'm just responding to a bunch of letters. I don't know if you guys probably have way more pen pal than I do, but have you ever had like bunch of letters sitting on your table and just like feeling really overwhelmed and like
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
procrastinating to respond, but then sometimes the letter just sits on your table for too long that it gets stale, and then you're like, well, so much things has already happened. And you have
Yeah.
to try to type all of that in one letter, and it just gets longer and longer. Or you try to shorten it because you don't want to make the letter too long.
Yeah.
Yeah, that never happens to anybody here, I don't think.
Wow.
That's funny.
Need a system.
Yeah, you need to
I
see.
wonder, does anybody here type out their letter twice? Because I cannot freehand on my typewriter. I had to type it on Google Doc first, and then I'll type it on my typewriter. Because that way I also have the option to, like, if I forget what I said previously, I can go back and look at it.
Oh.
But like that's why I get really bad procrastination, because I had to type it out twice.
First draft is best draft.
Yeah. I cannot
with
do
it.
that. If I'll be doing that, I'll be throwing out papers left and right because I'll have so many
Oh.
typos.
You know, Diane, you need to talk to Joe. So Joe used to do this because Joe used to write me letters, and he got me. I just went with it, right? And I agree with Ted. First draft is the best draft, even if you don't say things quite correctly or you make some spelling mistakes. That's just humanity. That's just being human. And I remember writing it to Joe, and Joe wrote back, said, "Well, I can't really put out a letter. I'm working on being more human, but I got to fix all my mistakes." And so when he said that, I was like, "Oh man, if I write Joe back another letter, I've got to be actually really more accurate." And then Joe thankfully wrote me another letter after that. You know, we were like a year apart on letters, just the way it was working. He wrote me back and said, "You know what? I'm fine with your mistakes. It's my own problem that I'm trying to deal with on my letters." But Joe's a lot better now. He makes a lot of mistakes.
Oh, yeah. It's actually a great improvement, making more mistakes now. Because, you know, I realize it's like, I guess to use analogy, if you think of people that discover film photography for the first time, like young people who never grew up with it, and they're really interested in the imperfections of the film process, because a digital camera gives you a perfect image, right? No flaws, but film is scratches and graininess and the other artifacts of the process. Well, you can think of manual typing as kind of, it's an artisanal hand wrought way of mechanically putting letters on paper, and it's going to have the artifacts of the process. You know, I mean, I agree there is a certain kind of competency that you have to build with your hands, your finger strength, and it's a different typing style than with a computer. But once you get to that point, whether it's two-finger typing or touch typing, I'm better now with living with mistakes. I'm better with it because it's just an artifact of the process of writing spontaneously and not necessarily editing as you go. So I'm much better with it. Even Xing out your mistakes and just continue with the right word after that, that's fine.
Yeah, so
if I could add a
agree.
thing, another way too, and I don't know, Diane, if you were kind of referencing this, is remembering what you've said to people in the past. I always just make a photocopy of the letter that I send, and that way I know.
Yep. When I first started, I would scan my letter before sending it out. But I was like, well, there's a certain charm to like the truly old school where you would send the letter, and unless you made a carbon copy, you know, that letter was gone, and you know, whatever you remember, and what you forget.
Gregory, that's exactly how I do it. I don't take any copies. I just write and go with it and then respond to the letter and add more. And sometimes I have to say, hey, I might have mentioned this before. If so, sorry, but and it's a lot more freeing.
Yeah, I
It
do
is
that
funny
because-
that we're rediscovering how people used to write letters. You know, that's kind
Exactly.
of what we're doing.
Yep. Yep.
I just didn't want to keep on repeating myself. That's why. Like,
Oh, nobody will judge you.
probably
Yep.
it was just my problem, but like, yeah, I don't like repeating myself. That's why like I do read back in case like I forget I said something, and like you have so many pen pals, sometimes it's hard to keep track of what you said because everything is like customized to like the letter and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, you just have to remember, like, people are gonna be so excited to receive a letter. They're the last thing they're gonna do is judge you.
Exactly.
They're just glad that you're reaching out to them in the real world, not online or an email or heaven forbid text or something. You're sending them a real letter. They are not going to judge you at all. So
Embrace your
I
mediocrity.
always hope that that the rest of you don't get together and compare letters I've sent you individually, because when I come up with a good line, I repeat it to get off. Then I think, oh my God, did I already do that same line that I thought was so funny to this person? But I'll do it again anyway. Whatever. So,
that's funny. Yeah.
Well, I bought more wax stamps.
Oh, cool.
I don't know if any of you guys collect any wax stamps, but I'm like really interested in like, I don't know, it's just very something about it being so satisfying, just like stamping on the letter. It makes it like more official.
Diana, you mean
Yes.
like melting the wax and then stamping it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wanna see?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes. Let me zoom in on you.
Oh, part of the Illuminati. Love it.
I know, I don't know. Me and
Awesome.
triangles, I love triangles.
Ted will love that you're part of the Illuminati too.
And then I also like moss,
Oh, great.
Nice.
if I could focus.
There we go. We got it. Nice.
One's nice. And then this one, which is like a flower, I guess.
That would look beautiful
Yeah.
in gold.
Yeah. Those are my newer ones.
Here's something
Very
that'll change your
nice.
life.
Huh?
Here's something that'll change your life.
Oh, the hot, yeah, I know about
Yeah,
it. Yep.
They make sticks out of like the
Yep.
different colors of
The wax.
wax. You can
Oh,
run through a
cool.
hot glue gun. Oh, it makes things so much easier.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I just wonder if they come with like those, like, because the waxes I got, they have like I've seen those wax sticks before, but I guess they don't have like the colors I wanted. Like,
They don't really have the swirly pattern that you get sometimes with waxes.
are the ones I
Oh.
get.
Yeah.
These ones I had to cut up myself. Or like you'll get like wax beads that's kind of like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You melt them in like a little tray and then pour it.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Oh, okay.
And then this purple one that you guys already saw, this one's actually made out like a clear wax. So like when it gets melted, it's like translucent clear. But because
cool.
I think the material, or not the material, the ingredients, like it's not like traditional wax where it's like really easy to melt. It's super hard to melt this. Like it feels like it needs a higher heat temperature. And then cleaning is horrible too because it gets super sticky. It feels like glue. But the transparency on it, it's really pretty. Like I've never seen clear wax before.
Yeah.
It actually doesn't feel like wax. It feels more like plastic, but I don't know. It gets really hard than the other.
Okay.
But yeah.
Yeah, it's probably more durable than real wax.
Yeah.
It is, but if you bend it, it will snap and break.
Ah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then
So definitely not for the mail then.
no. And I have one that looks like a little button.
Zoom back in on that. Oh yeah, that's cool.
I just thought it's cute. And then another
Yeah.
moth one that's like a square.
Ooh, I like that. Wow, you have quite a collection.
I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 of them right now. No, 6 actually.
Nice.
Yeah. Starting a little collection.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Very
pretty
cool.
much it. What else? I'm looking for papers. Like I've seen some of my type pals friends, like their paper is so nice. I've only been using printer paper or paper I got from Amazon, which is a little bit like thicker. But like
Yeah.
theirs, like for example, this one, look at how thin it is. You can like see through it.
Yeah.
I want this. I want paper like these. I don't know why. But like I don't know where to buy them because like they're so thin.
One place you can look is probably Etsy.
Etsy?
Yeah.
Etsy and eBay.
eBay. Yeah.
Like because
Some-
I don't know too much about paper weight. So I think these are probably like the really one of like the really thin, lightweight. It feels like tissue paper.
Yeah.
Oh, one thing you can do is tracing paper. That would be a possibility from
I
the
feel
art
like
store.
those might be too thin though.
Well, you could
I
try
want
it.
thin enough, but thicker than tracing paper. I know.
Yeah. Yeah. I know Joe Van Cleve and I like to use newsprint. That's on the thin side and it has that neat texture to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's lots of possibilities. Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very cool. Well, anything else new with you?
That's pretty much it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's so good to see you again.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And we might as well talk to the other Diane. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine.
Good.
I don't know. It's not haunted, but
Are you sure?
well, I haven't heard it typing, but there
Maybe it has writer's block.
there's more, you know.
Ah, there you go. See, that's a scary typewriter.
No, actually, the scary typewriter is the Fox because
okay.
that one has it has issues that are far worse than the Densmore. It has aluminum. I think I've been told it's aluminum bars underneath, and several of them have corroded to the point where they've corroded apart. So that's the closest to a haunted typewriter that I have. Well, actually, I have a Smith Premier 2 that's basically in pieces. It's a box of parts, but it came to me like that. I did not put it into that state. So yeah, I have the machines that you guys are all saying, oh, these are haunted.
That's funny.
No, it's not haunted yet. It's like I was trying to clean the rust off the platen. You can see where it was until I moved this paper finger. You can see how clean it is. It's like, the same on the other end. It's like, yep, when you move those, it's like you can see, that's what it actually is supposed to look like.
Yeah. Is that pretty easy to clean?
I'm just using some chrome polish. It says chrome polish and rust remover.
Oh.
Is it the best way to do it. I don't know, but you know, I'm not in any rush, so
Yeah.
You know, it's like, yeah, I know, take it apart. Well, taking these apart is a pain in the butt, and I really don't. It's kind of a two-person thing. I don't have enough. There's not enough hands to hold it.
Oh.
Well, I say that because there's. Let me get this glove off my hand. There's these pins. These
Oh.
there's pins there, and there's pins on this side. This whole piece has to come off in order to get the platen out. It's not just a matter of pulling this out. The whole thing has to come off, because there's not enough clearance to pull the platen out once you pull this out. Or at least that's been my experience. But I could be totally wrong and not know it. But I know that the two or three that I've had replaced, that's what we did.
Yeah.
To get these out. Because it's like, you know, and so, you know, this piece here also has to come off, and that's the paper release, and it's kind of, that's how it works.
Yeah.
So yeah, it looks simple, but never really is.
It's deceptively simple.
Well, and you know, that's the thing. Sean had said he'd said something about, oh, and these are easy to take apart and clean, and I showed him, I found a picture of the underneath of one of these, and I explained how each one of these rods is connected to a key, and it's like, you don't want to go there.
And I was like, you can keep that typewriter and take it apart yourself.
I'm not taking it apart. I mean, you can take the top off, and actually this one, it's like the ball bearings are there's no ball bearings right now, so I have to replace those. That's not the problem. But before I do that, I'm gonna take the top off and clean, you know, do what I can up top. Although the keys all do move, so that's always a good thing.
Good. Mm-hmm.
So
Nice.
it's the winter project, and you know, very rarely do I name machines. This one has a name. The Fractionator.
A good one.
I mean, with 12 fraction keys, why not?
Wow.
Yeah. Wow.
That's incredible.
Yeah, I don't think I.
Oh, I think your mic is cutting out.
Yeah, I think you muted yourself, Diane.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
she
I
muted
did.
herself.
Yeah, I did. And so yeah, you can see all the fraction keys. It's like,
Oh,
Wow.
I know I've showed it before, but it's too fun not to. So
Yeah.
You can
That's
type
very
all the
cool.
recipes with that.
I
typewriter.
know.
I think it was a postal machine,
That makes sense.
because
Huh.
of the RFD key and the AC key. The RFD is rural free delivery.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So yeah, these are kind of my winter projects, although I need to clean the escapement on the Densmore. It does pretty much work though. I had to form. I didn't say bend. I said form. I had to form. I don't know what the piece is called, but it's something that lifts the type bar up for the X key. And so I was able to do that just a smidge, and it moves like it should, and it'll hit the platen. But anyway.
Nice.
Yeah, I keep showing you the same thing over and over again. Sorry.
That's okay. That's okay.
You need more typewriters, Diane.
I have one that I bought for Sean.
Oh,
It's a Smith Corona Silent Series 4.
Nice.
And it's out in the garage because it smells and it has to be out in the garage.
oh,
You might think it's a nice thing that Diane did that, but if you see the thing, you'll be like, oh boy, you're in for a real.
Well, it's dirty. I mean, and the case is probably it's probably in worse shape than the machine.
oh, okay.
So, I mean, one of the hinges it's not all there. So, but basically it is all there except for that. But yeah, it smells, and the outer covering is coming apart from the case. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm happy to send that to him.
Nice.
I pay for the shipping, so that'll cost me half my retirement savings anyway. So
But it's all good, right?
it's
I
all
doubt-
good.
Yeah, I doubt that it's going to cost that much.
Yeah.
Uh,
Excellent. Well, anything else new with you, Diane?
No, I don't think so. I did ask a question earlier, and I know Bob was on, and I don't know if we still have him on or not.
Yeah, he's there. Bob
Oh,
Marshall.
okay.
What's up, Diane?
Hey, Bob. I had posted a question in the chat, and of course I have really crappy lighting. Well, that's because I don't turn the overhead light on. I have a decal on a machine that says, and of course trying to do this and not have stuff fall, and it says rebuilt in accordance with Federal Trade Commission specifications. So does anybody know what these Federal Trade Commission specifications were for typewriter rebuilds?
Yes, I do.
Yeah,
Oh.
I would ask Ted. I mean, it's a government program. I know I work for the government for a day job, but yeah, Ted would have a better answer.
It's in the beginning or the end of every NAMDA blue book that you'll ever find. There's like 3 or 4 pages that lists all the Federal Trade Commission agreements and practices for rebuilding typewriters. And it goes through and it spells out, what you can call a rebuild, what you can call a refurb, what you can call a, just a reconditioned. They have different meanings for all the different.
What do you think it is?
Oh, okay, because that's what this machine has that decal on it, and
so this is
because it's been rebuilt and repainted gray because it used to be black. And it's got factory labels on it, which means that they had access to that. And so a little bit like a pretty major rebuilder, like maybe Shipman Ward or one of the larger rebuilders would have done that.
Yeah, I was just curious. I mean, it came from an estate sale. The seller I bought it from, they said they bought it from an estate sale over in North St. Louis County, and it's like, okay, well, that's cool, but they had this one, and they had a Remington 12, I think it was, but it's like, I already have one. I already have one of those. I don't need another one. But yeah, this is an H according to the serial number. It just says H dash blah blah blah. So
I'm trying to find one of those sheets. Oh yeah, here we go. Yeah. So you got Federal Trade Commission, Washington, trade practice rules for the office machine marketing industry. So yeah,
cool.
Received April 4th, 1958. So it changed over time. So they would have different versions of it.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, so they'll tell you what you can call a demonstrator, a factory rebuilt or remanufactured. rebuilt, reconditioned, discontinued, how you'd have to market a discontinued machine.
Oh,
So yeah,
Nice.
they had rules.
And do you have a scan of that on your site, Ted?
There's probably scans of it on most of the NAMDA catalogs that are in the
Yeah.
Typewriter databases file area.
Okay.
So if you
Excellent,
log into
excellent.
your Typewriter Hunter account and go to the file area, you should be able to find all NAMDA books. And
Nice.
probably at the beginning or end of most of those, you'll find 3 or 4 pages with the Federal Trade Commission stuff on
Wow,
it.
there you go.
yeah. The only other new thing is a set of IKEA shelves.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the only other new thing in the house is one of these things.
Wow, that's a tall one.
Yeah, well, yeah, it is, and yes, it is, and no, it isn't. It's not super tall, but I'm just like, okay, I need a plate. It's like I have too many accessories floating around, and
Yeah.
it's like, I need to get them all in one place and just see what I have, and just do one of these on the acquisition. I don't need any.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is probably where I'll be sitting on Halloween typing on this machine just because it's in front of the door.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Last year I typed one of the Type Pals a letter on Halloween, and I was sitting here and I had the Olympia with the manuscript typeface on it. The itty bitty one.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Excellent. Yeah, have fun organizing all your your ephemera.
Yeah, you just hit a point where it's like, it's all over the place, and it's like, no.
Yeah.
Another winter project.
Yep, there you go. Perfect. Excellent. Well, it's so good to see you, Diane. All right.
Yeah.
And let's see. I did finally receive the the sequential
yes.
letter.
Finally.
I probably will downgrade the envelope when I send it on, but yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to hurry up and get it.
I
to you.
know.
I felt
Yeah.
bad enough already, so I might as well
Oh,
spend a few extra
yeah.
dollars. And then of course I forgot the little
Oh,
bonus thing, but that's on it'll be on its way tomorrow.
okay, good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that way I'll have, just a few days to enjoy these letters. I've already
Yeah.
read through them once,
Mhm.
and I'll be able to reread them, and then it's going to take a little bit to compose the letter because it's
Yeah.
kind of like replying to, well, I guess like 6 letters in one at this point, or
That's
something like that.
true. Yeah, I
Yeah,
guess as you get further on down the line, you have a lot more to read and
yeah,
more
yeah,
questions to answer,
definitely.
but it's
Yeah.
fun.
Oh yeah, so much fun, definitely.
Mhm.
Yeah, but how are you, May?
I'm doing great. Yeah, still no new typewriters. I'm celebrating with Susan's happy
Yeah,
Hermes versary. And so the typing prompt is, do we have any ghost stories or haunted
yeah.
typewriters? And I feel like the opposite. I feel like I'm blessed by my typewriters, and
Oh,
also I bless the typewriters too.
oh.
If there are any ghosts, they're smiling down upon me with approval, with
Oh.
my mad, fixing and refurbishing skills. So, but as I speak, this Hermes has started acting up on me. So maybe it is haunted. It has started skipping pretty regularly. Like
Oh
every
no.
couple of lines, I'll get a big jump, skip, skip a space. And then
Yeah.
the N and one other letter is starting to stick. So excuse
Oh,
me, I haven't used this typewriter, and I have proof because I always leave a little something usually in every typewriter. So I haven't used this since June. So it's been a few
wow.
months. So maybe
Yeah,
it just needs a little bit of a workout.
I
And
think
so I'm
so.
hoping just typing, some random stuff during this meeting will help work out the kinks. If not, then I guess there's another typewriter repair Bible that I'm going to have to get for the Hermes to
Yeah.
figure out what's causing the skipping issues. Because, for months it was perfect. Nothing wrong at all except for the
I
missing
mean, first you
margin
clean it,
ribbon.
obviously.
Say that again.
First you clean it, obviously, because
Yeah. Well,
run
it's
some solvent
clean.
through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's clean, but I let it, sit for so long, even though it's in its case,
You've
and
made it
Yeah.
angry.
I
You
made
didn't
it
put
Yeah.
angry,
nice,
but
proper
now it's
base.
haunting me now. So
Give
we'll
it
see.
alcohol in order to make it.
Yeah. We need to loosen things up with a little alcohol here.
Yeah, there you go.
But otherwise, it's a great typewriter. Love the curves and
Oh yeah.
love the. I even have gotten used to, not hitting the margin, magic margins every time.
Yeah. I have to think about that every time.
I do too.
Yeah.
So I'm getting to where, like, I have so many typewriters that when I first sat it down, I was like, okay, why is it stuck? Oh yeah, there's a carriage release. Where is the carriage? Like, I forget, where some of these things are in the different models. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I maybe need to start typing a little, flashcard of important things about each typewriter. Because, if I don't pull it out for 3, 4, 5 months, I might forget.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, everything's great in my typewriter world, and leaving
That's good.
the rest of them for you. I don't plan on collecting, too many more unless something really crazy special comes my way locally. But
Yeah.
I want to, keep saying I want to get, new parts, new platens and things like that, which I just haven't done yet. I just keep pulling out the typewriters and still have the good platens.
Yeah.
Which this is one of them. I'm surprised. It probably got replaced, later on its life, because it's still pretty soft for
Yeah.
Hermes. And then
Yeah.
I saw Ted earlier had what I thought was it a brother? Was that a citation, a Sears citation? Is that another version of a brother JP1?
Yeah, it's a Western Auto citation.
Okay.
It was
Western.
yeah, it was sold by Western auto stores. I don't know if you remember those from.
Yes, I
this-
do. Yeah, I have a
70s.
sewing machine called Wizard from
Yeah,
Western
that's,
Auto.
that's another.
Yeah, that's one
brand
of their
that they
brands.
had. But yeah, it's a 1980, just a brother JP1. Pretty
Very
simple.
bare bones, very simple.
Yeah.
Easy to work with. Yeah. So basically a brother charger, but with a
Yeah,
1970s outfit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's exactly the sort of thing that really benefits from like stuffing it full of foam and
Mhm.
repainting it and changing all the hard rubber to soft rubber. It makes these machines very happy.
Yeah. Oh no, I like my typewriters loud.
Wake
I
the
think the
neighbors.
JP ones get
I
a
like
little
hard rock typewriters.
Static typewriters.
They can be so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they can, and replacing the rubber is the best thing I've ever done for my typewriters.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. So, and those tend to be more expensive than most typewriters. New platens
Yeah.
will run you
Yes.
about $100 a
Oh yeah,
piece,
for the bigger
give or
machine.
take. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Especially
some
if
of my
it's a long carriage.
typewriters, some of my typewriters, the platens are easily exchanged. So I might just get, just a few and swap them out, especially with the brother JP3s. Those are easy to pop out like the SEMs.
Yeah.
So I might just
Well,
only need
on-
like 1 or
on
2 of
these,
those.
I don't really bother getting the rubber replaced, as I so much so as I generally will sand down the platen and put a sleeve on it, like a shrink wrap
Oh.
sleeve.
Mhm.
And
They
just
don't
do that.
crack.
It works
Mhm.
fine. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a couple that have cracks. They really need to be replaced. But for the
Mhm.
most part, the brothers never need new rubber.
Yeah, it's rare. So if they
The
do,
Smith Coronas, though, they do. And
yeah.
the Royals. Of course, they're a lot older than my
Yeah.
brothers. Mhm.
Excellent.
Other than that, I've been living vicariously through your acquisitions, enjoying seeing what everybody's getting in the typewriter groups. I really like to see when new members pop up and, you know, their
Yes.
excitement when they get their first typewriter or their first 10 typewriters.
Yes,
I remember
exactly.
those feelings, you know, where I had to have all the typewriters.
Uh-huh.
Now I've
Oh,
definitely
man.
calmed down. Yeah, I went through the
Yeah.
12-step program, or maybe it was the 59-step program I finally went through.
Yeah. Well,
59 machines.
I think for me, part of it was the fact that, you know, there were no there was nowhere I could go to try different typewriters. So, and
Yeah,
I was
same.
wanting to find my perfect typewriter, so I
Mhm.
had to buy them all.
Exactly. Yeah. And then the other Diane Wang, I guess she slipped out, but
Oh
I was
yeah.
going to comment on how she writes. You know, she'll type stuff on the computer and then type it on the typewriter. And I've done that, you know, from time to time, depending on what I'm writing. I feel like
Yeah.
it saves paper, but then at the same time, you're wasting electricity.
Yeah.
You know, because most of the paper I use for drafting is just like the backs of worksheets that, you know, leftover stuff from school that I pull out of the recycle bin. So not really
Yeah.
wasting paper. I'm
Yeah.
reusing it. So I've
Yeah.
kind of moved out of the typing on the computer and then transcribing on the typewriter. It sounds backwards, but you know, if you're using nice paper and you want to, you know, make the letter look really professional, that's one way to do it.
Yeah.
But otherwise, most of my writing is very casual, so I don't
Yeah.
bother with that anymore. And I'm okay. I've become like Joe. I've embraced my mistakes. I've even got a few X's on this, you know, or just backed up and X over it. You know, that's a big step for me, you know, because
Yeah.
I was the one that bought 7 different kinds of, you know, correction tabs on eBay a couple years ago.
Yeah.
So less obsessed with perfection and enjoying the typing experience more and embracing the personality, as Robert said, of,
Yeah.
you know, freeform writing with mistakes and
Yeah,
all.
definitely. Very good.
Well, it's always good to see you, Gregory, and
Good to see you
glad-
too, May.
good to see everybody else, Joe, Ted, and iPad 3. Good to see you too.
Mr. Neil McMichael.
I know, Mr. Neil. It's so funny. Sometimes we forget, you know, because like at work, you know, we have to use our email addresses when we Zoom at work. And so sometimes I
Yeah.
forget to switch back.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know how to do it. I can do it on the computer, but I happen to be on the iPad today. So I clicked everything I could think of
Oh,
earlier.
yeah.
What the heck with it. I'll be iPad free today. So
You'll be iPad.
Oh.
And then
Wait a minute.
Gregory, how many more in line for the sequential letter? Are you the second to the last one before it goes back to Danielle?
I'm you know what, honestly, I'm not sure.
Okay.
I know there's one there's
Can I say
there's
something?
one. Yes, go ahead.
Sure. Yeah.
After Gregory, you send it to Andrew Smith.
I
Okay.
know that part, but then I'm not sure after that if there's anyone
So
else.
Andrew then sends it to me.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah,
So
so
there's-
we're
yeah.
right near the end then.
Right near
Okay.
the end. So 8 people altogether. That's a pretty big sequential list.
So who's got it now?
I do. I guess you stepped
Gregory.
away when I showed it.
Oh, okay.
Gregory has it now.
Yeah.
All right.
I-
I asked a question on the forums this morning about it because I was like,
Oh, okay. Okay.
Oh,
said you got
now
it.
that he got it. So, you know, it's like with me, I had the letter. I had it for like almost a month.
Yeah.
Sorry. But now everything will be a big surprise.
Yeah, so it'll probably be going out in the next few days because there's a lot to respond to there. So
Yeah. And also the little packet of goodies, I forgot to put that in there for some reason. I
yeah,
don't know.
so she's
So
gonna mail that to me, and that'll give me time
Yes.
to compose my letter. And
Yes,
then
and then as soon as you
when
get
the
back, yeah.
ephemera arrives back, I can reunite it and send it all on to San Diego. I think he's down in San Diego, or is he
I
up
think
north?
so.
I don't remember. Yeah.
I think he is in San Diego.
Oh, Andrew.
Bill Malley.
Somewhere in California.
No, wait. It's a Valley Mill, close to San Francisco.
San
Oh,
Francisco.
wow. I was the complete wrong direction.
Mill Valley. Mill Valley, I think.
Okay, okay. Excellent. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
thanks for putting that all together, Danielle and Gregory.
yes, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for Type Pals. So
You know, it seems like the easiest is the first letter. It
Yes.
oh
seems,
yeah.
listening to you guys, that you're racking your brains for what to write about answering
Right.
everybody. Like I
Yeah.
was just gonna say, like just write
Just
about
right.
what's new about you. That just
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
the first
Well, I guess
letter is easiest because
Yeah.
I just start and write whatever, and it's it usually looks not good enough when when I get mine back in the package. I look at the other letters and I get so like, oh wow, people have put so many things or have drawn things or have stamped or this or that.
yeah.
And then I say, oh, my letter was pretty plain, but it's the easiest one. The first one is the easiest one, I find.
Like Ted definitely humbles us all with his creativity.
Oh, I had
Yeah.
mine half written before I even got the letter.
I
I know,
know.
right?
That was
That's
funny.
pretty
One,
amazing.
one side was before the letter and the other side
Yeah.
was after the letter.
Yeah. But yeah, like Danielle, I get kind of a little obsessed with making the letters sound good. Like I want to tell a funny story or say something clever or also use good grammar and punctuation, preferably no mistakes. So those kinds of things kind of frees me up a little bit when I'm trying to write a letter and not just rambling on.
Yeah.
So trying to craft a letter, I do take it seriously, and that hangs me up sometimes. So I need to be more
Oh.
like more free form and just not worry about it, and just like you said, just whatever you're doing, type what comes out.
Yeah.
And like Gregory said, they're just going to be happy that they got a letter.
Oh
Doesn't
yeah.
really matter what it looks like or what it says, other than unless it's awful, but but a simple hello. Like I have one pen pal, he writes maybe 5-10 lines, and that's it. It's just like, hey, things are great. I'm typing on, this typewriter. Isn't the font pretty? And then signs his name, and that's it.
Yeah.
Very, very short. And so maybe we need to be more like that. Or more postcards would be
Yeah.
helpful too. If you're
Yeah.
having trouble, writing a long letter, send a postcard.
Yes.
They're
Yes.
cheaper as well.
Yes.
And that's why we have the
Excellent.
postcard exchange, which I think is already expired for this month, right? We have to wait till next
Yes.
month. Yeah.
Last
Yeah.
Monday.
Is it the third Sunday that you cut it off? Is that right? Or second
Basically,
Sunday?
well, technically the third Monday.
Third Monday. Okay.
But you have to register the previous Sunday. So
Right. Right.
yeah.
Okay.
And I am going to be doing the matchups for the current one later today. So those will go out. As usual, it's quite late, but life.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Well, I think every single one of us has other things going on other than
oh yeah.
typewriters.
Yeah. Definitely.
Except for Joe. Joe's retired now, so
Yeah, he has
Joe, it's
nothing to do.
all typewriters all the time.
Yes, I should get a T-shirt.
Yes.
Says all typewriters all the time.
Yeah, there you go.
I
That's
appreciate your video on your camera and your eclipse.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
your
thanks for sharing
telescope.
your eclipse pictures. I like them. They were
Yeah.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I really geek out on that kind of stuff. And I
Yeah.
was surprised. I was out there with this setup, and I was the only person. I live in a pretty big apartment complex. I did not see a single soul outside. I was the only one. So, yeah. And I shared bits of your video with some of my students, giving them ideas of
Oh,
different ways
cool.
we can expand just the regular standard pinhole camera.
Yeah. Well,
And
there's
they just-
another eclipse
yeah.
coming up next April.
Yes, and
So-
that's
Okay.
on my birthday.
Oh,
That's a total eclipse on my birthday, and the totality will come through Little Rock.
Oh, wow.
then too. So that
Oh,
I'm kind of debating on whether I want to take off work for that day, so I can just enjoy it as is.
you
Because
should.
if I work, then I've got to cater to all the students and make sure they're seeing the eclipse, make sure they're putting their glasses on, so the experience would be more, helping others rather than enjoying it for myself. So I'm still
Yeah.
debating. That's still 6 months away.
Well,
know.
we're gonna miss totality here for that eclipse, but my friend Ethan and I are talking about making 100-foot long pinhole telescope to get the image of the
Nice.
sun about 4 inches in diameter, and he
Oh
wants
my
to
goodness.
he wants to photograph it on 20 by 24 inch color paper.
Wow.
So it's going to be one of those things.
Oh my.
I'll just do the binoculars that you get the same effect, but
I know.
with a
He wants a
shorter.
print. He wants actually a print.
He wants a
Wow.
So we're
good print.
thinking of a horizontal telescope that's on 3 sawhorses connected together with black fabric. And then we're going to use a front surface mirror on the end of it as a heliostat
That's
to
gonna be
aim
a
the
great
sun
way to
down the tube. So,
Yeah.
then have a giant film back on the other end. Anyways, it's one of those crazy ideas that I get involved in,
It's
but
fun. Yeah.
As long as
but
you
we
make
need
a
to go to
video.
Arkansas so we can be in totality. That's what we need.
Yes.
There
Yeah,
you go.
come
Road
visit me.
trip.
We'll throw a type in that weekend before, because I
Yeah.
think it's on a Monday or Tuesday, if I remember
Mm.
correctly. So we can always do a type in that weekend and then experience.
Yeah, that would
the
be fun,
eclipse. Yeah, it seems like there's a lot of type-ins popping up recently. Of course, the weather's nice. Just saw one where there was one in San Antonio that the ATI members went to. And of course, you guys just had one, Phoenix, not too long ago. And there was
Yep.
some up north. So type-ins are happening everywhere.
Definitely. Very cool. Well, it's so good to see you, May.
Good to see you too, Gregory. Thank you for all you do. The
You're
typewriter
welcome.
world.
And Neil, how are you doing?
Doing good.
Excellent.
I'm up at the cabin in Michigan right now, so I've been
Oh,
up here for
okay.
a month or so. So it's getting a little chilly up here. So the Florida guy in me is ready to head south pretty soon.
Come
Fly
here.
back the 30th. Yeah.
Okay.
Been 23 years since I've experienced weather. This morning it was 36 here.
Ouch.
Supposed to be 31, which, if I remember correctly, is 1 degree below freezing. So it's been a long time. So, but I'm enjoying it. I got the fire in the fireplace. And it's been fun.
Nice.
And I've been able to kind of reacquaint myself with, I haven't, not that I've been without them a long time, because I just moved them typewriters up here in, I guess it was April, and then I was back again in July. So, but I didn't have time to mess with them. And when I was here in July, so I've been dragging them out. It's just like opening a box that you haven't seen in a long time and playing with them. So that's kind of, so no, I haven't bought a typewriter this year, I don't believe. And I doesn't look like I don't need any more. So
yeah,
just I can go out there and pull one out of a box that I haven't seen in a long time. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
So,
well, you got rid of some, right?
well, not yet.
Oh, okay.
There's I have probably 15 or 20 back in Key West that I think I'm just going to start finding homes for. I've got one friend of mine already who I've got pretty much convinced that she needs a typewriter. So I think when I get back, that'll be one of them that's going to get passed down the line. It's one of my Smith Coronas, so manuals. I've got about, I don't know, half a dozen or so Smith Corona manuals, like the 70s era, that are really good.
Okay.
Machines, but
Yeah.
I kind of went a little overboard early on. So time to share in the hoard, I guess.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny up here because in Key West, I don't use the mailbox. I go to the post office and mail my letters were here, I go to a mailbox. We actually have a post box up the road here. So I go up there and put them in there, or else I'll go to our little rural post office here. And that's kind of cool because they'll always, whenever I can, I ask them if they please hand stamp them. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I've drug out the old IBM Selectric here in the last couple weeks. I got my new type elements from Selectric Rescue and have been enjoying typing with those. A lot of fun so far. They seem to be performing just like the regular type elements. So I've not had an issue at all with them.
Nice.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
The machine has got, it's still got an issue here and there where it's a couple things are still gummed up, but I'll dig it out next year and continue to work on it. It's nothing more than just being gummy, like the unimportant keys, like the period and the comma.
Oh.
Letters out now. I'm just typing the sentence at the beginning that's what the issue is. So it's not that I accidentally missed the period or the comma. It's just they aren't working properly right now.
Yeah.
They'll work there and continually tap it and wait for it to kind of warm up.
Oh.
Yeah.
Not a big deal. There's
Yeah.
always a little something, it seems, but
Yeah.
but other than that, I am getting the place winterized and bringing things indoors and getting ready to drain pipes and all that stuff that you do that I haven't done in over 2 decades. So
yeah,
kind of nice. But I've been enjoying the fireplace and the wood stove, so that's neat. But
yeah.
as far as typewriter news, there's really nothing here. Just haven't been on a while. So I'll pop on and say hi to everybody. So
Yes.
Hi.
that's about it from here, Gregory. So
Okay. Well, it's so good to see you, Neil.
well, obviously it is to see you too. Thank you again for doing this for all of us. We really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Of course, of course. Excellent. And Danielle, how are you?
Bonjour.
I'm quite good. I'm well. Thank you very much. It's good
Excellent.
to see everyone. I missed a few weekends, like either Saturday or the Sunday, because we were out and about. And but it's good to see people. And I was thinking about what Neil was saying about his electric, and I have to say that some of our Selectrics are the haunted typewriters because they don't do what we want. You know, like
Yeah.
like mine here, which I serviced, which is next to me because it's so heavy, I leave it on my table. Sometimes when I first start using it, like after a day of not doing anything, a day or two, and I start typing, the letters are wrong. What types is wrong because it's a bit kind of gummed up. You know, I thought I had cleaned it up, but the carrier, inside the carrier, I didn't take it apart. I tried to clean it from the outside and spraying and everything, but obviously there's something still wrong. So when I first start using my Selectric, it's a bit haunted until it's warmed up. Then it works fine. I guess my ghost typewriter. I have to think hard about that one because I was thinking, is it like the 1915 Remington 10 that looks, it looks old because it's 1915. It has those big pillars and it looks impressive. Is that the ghost, or is it the machine of author Vic Wilkser that I have? Vic Wilkser wrote a book, The Influenced Peddlers, and I have his typewriter. It's a 1945 Smith Corona Clipper, and so maybe that's the ghost one because of the stories that has been the story that has been written on that typewriter, the book that's been written on it.
Wow.
That's what I would say. And I have a little story to tell. I now have a lot of type vowels, and that's great. But I've also used my typewriters recently. Well, I've used one typewriter recently to write to the host of a radio show. And this radio show is on Radio Canada. It's usually heard from coast to coast. It's in the French side of, it's on Radio Canada, so the French side of the national radio. And it's a kind of a show where people send in questions about science, the environment, health, consumer affairs, tech, and they answer questions. They get specialists on the air, or there's journalists that come in. Like some of the people on the show are assigned certain questions, and they research them, and they come and they answer the questions. So they always ask for emails for their questions for everybody. They say, send us your questions, and they say by email or by phone. People can call and dictate or talk into an answering machine and ask their questions. So I decided to send something by snail mail, and not only did I type it, which is one thing that they maybe did not expect to receive a letter by mail, but I typed it on a sheet of QG paper, wood paper. You know,
Oh, yeah.
I have those pads from
Such
Levi.
a neat.
Oh, I'm
Uh-oh.
sorry. Uh-oh. I'm so sorry. I accidentally muted you. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
I was trying to do spotlight and
Yeah. So
That's
if you
such
see
neat
the grain,
stationery.
if you see the grain, so I typed a note on this, and I slipped it into a card, you know, which I hand wrote the card, but I typed on this using my Olympia SM9, and I talked to them about type pals, and it
oh,
blew them away. It blew them away when they every week, one day a week on the Monday, they talk about the questions they've received, and they pick a few to highlight what they're going to talk about, and they don't cover all of the questions they receive because it'd be too much. But basically was the feature of the show was how pleased they were to receive something that was typewritten on a vintage machine. The ribbon is blue. It's a blue impression on this. It looks. It actually, let me just block this. It looked like that, but better. That was something that I started. I made mistakes, so I restarted. And then they talked about it, and they talked about type vowels, and they went online and researched our group, type vowels. And so I wonder if we're going to get, some new type vowels from people that have listened, or maybe not type vowels necessarily, but people might get a typewriter. People that
exactly.
are listening to the radio show might get a typewriter. So that was the highlight of that week. And then one of my brothers was listening, happened to listen to the show every night, and I do listen to the show as well. But and he heard it. He heard the whole thing, and he said he knew it was me. Like they just named, thank you, Daniel from Ottawa, but they don't reveal everybody's full details. But they were really, really happy, and they talked about it on the show for 2 weeks in a row. So the first time they got the letter, and then the week after they talked again about it, about how wonderful it was. And so I'm pleased about that. I was different, and I think the point I was trying to make was to make something a bit special, like writing in, okay, already, that's one thing, but typing it on the QG paper, something else. And then I tried it on the Selectric, and I'm amazed at how good it looks on the Selectric. It's so dark.
Oh, wow, yeah.
It's so dark and clear on the Selectric, and so I might, yeah, I'm going to do that too. Like type also notes on this electric. It's the first time I tried on that little
Yeah.
sample, so try a full note on that.
Now
So that's
remind
that.
me. Now remind me if that paper is like you can get it again, or is it like rare and you just happen to find it?
So I say QG, but it could be QG. It's a Japanese thing. It's reclaimed wood from thinning forests, and they do make paper. One of our type pals in the UK said he found it in the UK in a different size, a bit bigger size. This is sold by Lee Valley Tools, and it's on their website and their catalog. People can order it. But in Japan, it's a continuing process that they're always making this Kyugi wood paper because it's a way for them to sell the product at a higher price than if they were selling it for firewood or for, I don't know,
Exactly.
turning pens or doing other things out of wood, spoons or whatever. But
This is the brand you showed me, Daniel, some year or so ago, and I found it on Amazon. I don't know if you can read it's called Kizara. If it was just a simple Amazon search, but I'm glad you pointed that out because I kind of forgotten about it. And I haven't tried it on the Selectric either, so I have to try that. Just one other thing I want to mention. You talked about why they do it as far as trying to make money. My uncle always said if he could have sold his potatoes as potato chips, he would have been a millionaire. Same kind of, and yeah. But yeah, it's fun to find. But Daniel, you're the one who turned me on to it in the beginning, so it's kind of cool.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
That's one thing I love about this group. It's amazing.
We're all enablers, right?
Yes.
All great at it.
Wow.
So it turned out great. So I'm quite happy. And like I said, I hope maybe we get. Well, there's 240. I checked this morning. There's 240 type pals on in the directory.
It's grown.
Yeah.
So it's grown. So we'll see if there's more of the type pals.
Yeah, that would be great.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent.
Now I have to say that this show is in French, so it had been in English, I might have been able to share the link, and people might have felt more comfortable listening to it. But since it's in French, I don't expect people to have to listen to it.
Exactly. Yeah.
But yeah.
That's very, very exciting, though. Wow. You got us on the radio.
Yes.
Nice.
That is awesome.
All across Canada.
Yeah, there you go. There
Yeah.
you go. Yeah. And I do have to say about your letter in the sequential letter, there was one part that especially intrigued me. I'm not going to mention it now because I don't want to spoil the surprise for the return trip to you, but there's one part of your letter that I'm very, very excited to respond to. So it's something that it's a growing passion for me, and I'll just leave it at that. So yeah.
Excellent.
So I enjoyed.
I like that. Yes, thank you. Thank you. All right. Feels good.
Good.
Thank you, Gregory. Nice to see everybody, and
yes.
Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday.
Yes. Yeah.
Happy cold weather to all of our type pals up north.
I know, huh?
All right.
I still can't imagine it, but
yeah. Well, it's a cycle. It's the 4 seasons are very different, so part of it. But one thing I did last year is type on yellowed maple leaves. So I go and pick leaves off the tree, and then I have to put it on a piece of paper. I have to secure it on a piece of paper and carefully roll it through, and then to type on the leaf, and it works. The only thing is, then you have to put it in a press or in a book to keep it flat, or else it's going to curl up and it won't look good. But once it's done, it has to dry and be kept flat. Like people that have a collection of leaves or flowers, they dry them in a
flower pressing,
flower pressing, or you can use newspaper or whatever. But
now you do that drawing process like after you've already typed on it, right? Because when you type on it, you still want it to be a little bit supple, right?
Correct. So the process is picking the leaf, it's supple, typing on it, then pressing it.
Yes.
In that order. Yeah.
And is there any issue with the plant, the leaf oils or anything like that?
Not that I have noticed. Maybe, I don't know.
Well, like you said, like you said, you attach it to a piece of paper, so that would protect the platen, certainly.
Yeah. And I mean, there's wax on plant leaves. I mean, the tree has a little bit of wax, but I hope the biggest problem is when there's a big nerves, or like big parts of the stems.
The veins?
The veins, the veins.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that would be hard to type on, because some of those can get pretty thick.
And so it's better to type on the top of the leaf. Take a bigger leaf, type on the top. Oak leaves also work very well, and then not pass it through completely. Once you've typed on it, you back it out.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that's something that I'll be doing too.
Very cool. We do have an oak tree in our yard, actually. So very cool. Excellent. Well, again, it's so good to see you, Danielle.
Good to see you too. Thank you.
Yeah. It looks like we have someone just logging in. But while they get logged in, I don't know if Arthur is there. Are you there, Arthur? How are you, Arthur?
Oh, had you guys in my pocket this whole time.
I thought it looked awfully dark.
Yes. I'm doing all right. Typewriter wise, I just picked up a Galaxy Deluxe 10. I think all I need is a Deluxe 12 and the average old regular Galaxy to kind of complete the set of Galaxies.
Wow.
and a script one. If I could find one.
Yeah.
I did. It's funny that the JP came up, because I just picked up from Walter the Beagle. That's the seller's moniker, but I picked up a Wizard tabulator from the 60s. And it's actually kind of interesting because it's really light. And it actually reminds me, the construction, the feel of it reminds me of the 50s Japanese wind-up toys.
Oh.
It almost feels like that same kind of aluminum, tin, whatever that was.
Yeah.
It's very pingy. It's so it's got to be, it's really thin construction, but I mean it feels solid, but it's just like it's very, very pingy when you when you type on it. So yeah, a little dampening foam or something on the inside would probably help. And I have been fooling around with a camera with the thermal printers.
Oh, cool.
I saw Joe's thing and I was like, oh yeah, those are out there, because I've been thinking about getting a Fuji Instax,
Yeah,
just to, same thing. You write a letter, you kind of toss in a picture of your typewriter or
exactly.
whatever. It's always kind of cool. But with the thermal, they're not expensive and they're not very precious.
Yeah.
So you can just go ahead and print stuff up. Actually, I was fooling around with doing some prints of screenshots as
Oh,
you guys were talking, to put together a little thing of everybody popping up.
oh, cool.
So that's yeah. And then I did start cataloging the typewriters in the Rolodex.
Yeah.
So
Sean approves.
yeah, I finally I was able to pick up what is it, the 3150, the big one,
Ah,
um, which just fits if you type everything on the card.
okay.
I did miss out, and Sean might appreciate it. There was one that I wish I would have gotten it, and it was gone by the time I thought about it. It was a double large Rolodex. So it was like two of the giant ones together in one, and it looked like this giant bar of metal. Obviously, the Writers Guild strike is over.
Oh,
Finished up.
yeah.
Yeah, they came to an agreement October 2nd, and now we're just waiting for now we're just waiting for SAG to kind of do their thing. So
Yeah.
they've kind of had little fits and starts here, but they're supposed to be going back to negotiations this week. So hopefully they'll figure something out. And I've been watching. I like the British murder mysteries.
Oh,
And if anybody's watched Endeavor, that is chock full of typewriters.
oh,
It's a detective procedural thing in Oxford, and in between the shots of the police station and professors and students, pretty much I've been noticing everybody's got a typewriter on their desk. Whether it's a standard or they actually, it seems like they've been doing a pretty good job keeping it period, because it's supposed to be late 50s kind of, and then it goes through the 60s.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, other than that, not not much else exciting. Getting we've been out here, at least the valley. I think we hit 97 or 98
Wow.
this week. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's that heat snap, and also we get the Santa Ana winds coming through,
Yes.
which
Yep.
which got written about in noir novels.
Oh,
Yeah, there's one quote, and I forget. I'm kind of paraphrasing, but when the Santa Ana winds kick up and it's hot at night, wives start eyeing their husbands' necks while holding a knife. uh, oop, but yeah, um, and yeah, definitely first draft on the typewriter, and just put it in an envelope and send it.
There you go. Yeah.
You know, because that's and usually if it's conversational, it kind of, like I'll jot down a few notes to kind of refer to,
Yeah.
maybe start of a paragraph or whatever. But after that, you just kind of go. And for some reason, with a typewriter, specifically for me, it's easy to do that. Than with anything else, handwriting, computers, or it's a lot easier to just freestyle, so to
Yeah.
speak. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's about that. I've been actually I should give Bob a call because I've been meaning to visit you guys. Riverside isn't that far, so
Ooh.
and I got a couple of machines that probably need a little tweak here or
Yeah.
there, and it's a perfect excuse to visit.
Very cool.
And
Yeah.
if
Maybe.
you ever happens upon a Galaxy with script,
Yeah.
I'll be more than happy
Definitely.
to come by and take it off his hands.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, if you do come out this way, maybe we can arrange something, a little
Yeah,
mini meetup or something. Definitely.
yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah. Excellent.
I can bring one of the lighter machines.
Yeah.
I don't know what. Well, I mean, it's probably because they're all steel, but the Galaxies are. I always forget how heavy they are.
Oh,
They're just no matter even if it's whether it's the smaller, 10-inch carriage or the 12s, they're just. 'Cause I got the deluxe in the mail, and I picked it up out of the box, and I was like, shit, these are heavy.
yeah.
I always forget the ones the one the ones that I like and I always forget about until I get them out are the older Underwoods.
Ah,
And oh, speaking of the haunted typewriters, I do have I think it's a 20s machine that my friend used to type up his script for H.P. Lovecraft short.
ooh.
And he actually, I think he went and researched the typewriter to make sure he got one that Lovecraft had probably used to write the script to.
Yeah.
Uh, it's and the story the story he filmed is called Cold Air. So and he actually a lot of it was filmed kind of right after the 94 earthquake, or 92 earthquake, when downtown was kind of empty. So a lot of the older noir looking buildings down there were empty. So he was able to kind of weasel in and film surreptitiously
Yeah.
without anybody knowing. But yeah, yeah. And there's um there's a machine in Cold Air. It's kind of like a cryogenic machine that keeps this guy alive. The machine in the background. Actually, if anybody looks him up on Instagram, uh, Thomas Kuntz of Artomic Productions. He actually does. He does the old timey wind up shit, what are they called, dioramas, where you kind of wind them up and they actually do things.
Oh, yeah.
He's I've known him a lot since the 90s, and he actually native to Phoenix, I believe, and he just started
Oh,
out doing models as a kid and then got more and more interested, and he actually does all the machining himself for these tiny parts. And some of his stuff is actually appears in the Guillermo del Toro movies. There was one with nah, I forget it. It's but he does a lot of animatronic stuff. So yeah,
Cool.
he's worth looking at if you get a chance on Instagram. And he actually shows the process.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So that's about it.
Excellent.
Good to hear everybody.
Yeah. And very good to see you, Arthur.
Yeah, and it sounds like your voice is back to normal. Sounds like you got
Yes,
a little,
yes.
little excited about the hockey.
Oh my goodness. I see. It's a minor league team, and they're affiliated with the NHL team that I follow, the Kings. And I did not expect to enjoy the game that much. It helped that it's a smaller arena,
Yeah.
and so you can see all the players really well and get caught up in the action and everything. So I really got into it and really enjoyed it. I'm actually toying with the idea of getting season passes, but we'll see. It's still not cheap, so yeah.
Well, the visceral experience of having a bunch of people shouting
Yeah.
around you, just kind of like the Coliseum, off with their heads.
Exactly. Yeah. Yes. Very cool.
Yep.
All right.
That's that.
Okay. Larry, are you coming to us from the beach?
Nice view, Larry. How relaxing.
I just unmute. I just figured out how to unmute. I don't get on the iPad very much for Zoom. Can you hear me all right with that like wind blowing in the speaker or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not too
great.
bad.
Okay, good.
Makes it authentic.
Yeah,
It's not just a background. It's not a fake background. We know it's real now.
Yeah, it's real.
Wow.
This is my Coast Guard base. So it's like I'm the only one down here, so it's cool. Well, besides the cameras and the microphones and all that, I'm the only one down here.
Wow. It's like your secret spot.
Yeah, nothing secret here though.
Oh, okay.
This is the government, So
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
It's being monitored, that's for sure. But yeah, it said 74 in my car, but it's breezy and the wind's off the water, and so it feels a little cool. So I wanted to be in the sun and still get stay warm. So I'm tunneled down here, so I stay warm. Feels good though in the sun.
Nice.
So I wish I'd been able to get on here, because I've been off and on and driving, and it's like, well, I can listen at least. So I listen, and but I hadn't been able to get on that much lately. So I'm glad to finally catch you on here, Gregory.
Yeah. Did you
Don't-
take
don't
the
let-
typewriter with you?
Well, this is my iPad. It's got a keyboard right here. And I can simulate a typewriter. I've brought a typewriter down here before, but I didn't this time now.
Okay.
In fact, I didn't even know I was going to do this. I went to eat, and then after I ate, I thought, I wonder how it is down at the beach right now. And it's good. I mean, I like it.
It looks very nice.
It's nice. It's nice to relax a little bit.
Yeah, definitely.
So I bought one of those. Well, I bought two of those Selectric Elements from the Rescue Selectrics.
Oh, the 3D printed one. Yeah.
Yeah. I bought a Vogue 10 and a Comic something 10 too, and I'm glad that somebody said they work great, and so I'm so glad, because I got them. I haven't tried them yet. I hate that I haven't tried them, but I just haven't. I stuck them on top of the machine. I'm like, I'll try them later, and it's not like, it's not like I don't have like a bunch of other typewriters to play with too. So
yeah,
and I mean, I love that typewriter, I really do. And then who had the Sean had the cold steel today, and I'm like, all right, I love that. I have a 58, and the funny thing about it is and you have the desk. And I got the desk like the same thrift store a year later from because I looked it up on the database when I went to eat today after I heard you say that. I got the desk a year later and I was thinking, I know where the desk is. It's in my garage, and I'm using it for all kinds of books and stuff. And typewriters are on top of it. Two typewriters, and then I have books underneath, and I have stuff in the drawers and extra paper in the drawers, so it's real handy. But I'm thinking, okay, I wonder where my typewriter is. I don't know. It's somewhere. I'm not gonna find it. I want to get it out and look at it. And I didn't know about the little escapement problem either. And I'm like, okay, well, so far it's been working, so I hope it keeps working. And
Yeah.
yeah, so I thought that was interesting. And what was the prompt today? It was about Halloween, something.
Yeah. What ghost stories has your typewriter told, or is your typewriter haunted?
Oh, well, my Selectric with the old world element looks like something out of, the Gothic, whatever, like to me, it looks was the night before Christmas in the fancy, I like that. And so that's about as haunted as that gets. But I have a 1913, so 13 Oliver. So and it looks like a bat, so I mean, that's pretty, cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
In fact, I ought to put it out for Halloween and cobwebs all over it or something,
There you go.
So
Very
yeah,
cool.
I don't have a whole lot of news. I just want to hear what everybody else is talking about.
Yeah. Well, it is good to see you though, Larry.
I did send an email today on our behalf, in other words, Type Pals and the ATC and Ted Monk's database, Richard Pope. I mentioned a lot. I sent an email and to somebody that I hope they're interested. I won't say anything because if they're not interested, it's neither here. But yeah, it'd be interesting.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's that's what we're all about, trying to share typewriters. So
Yes. Very cool. All right. Well, we're just about there. So unless anybody has any last minute questions or comments or anything they want to share, I think we'll go ahead and wrap up here. Yeah.
Well, thank you once again, Gregory. It's a great
You're
meeting.
welcome.
Thank you, Gregory.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
You guys are my real life typewriter friends.
Oh.
Thanks, Gregory. I did get this from Neil. I thought it was very interesting.
Oh, cool.
I didn't know there was a tunnel down there.
I know, right?
It's a well-kept secret. Yeah.
There you go. Wow.
Anyway,
That's cool.
I got to see that license plate earlier. I forget who showed it. I thought that's really cool. That's a great idea.
Was that Sean? I think it was
So
Sean.
was it
that showed
Sean?
right? Yeah.
Yeah,
It was
that
Sean.
was cool.
Yes.
I loved it.
Very cool.
It said typewriter to me. That's all it said was typewriter. No doubt.
All right. Well, thank you so much, everybody, and we will see you next time.
Right. Thank
All
you,
right,
Gregory.
You're welcome.
See y'all.
Happy
Happy typing.
Happy typing.
Happy typing.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.